What's up, everybody? Good fucking morning. This is Wes Harden here with my co-host Brendan Mason, and you guys are listening to EarthToCommons.
Okay, sorry, we just want to make sure everything's running smoothly really quick. Today we have on our CM, or RA as it's known around most other places, Hunter Maston.
Hello. I'm glad to be here. It's exciting.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. He's a very busy man, people. He's a very busy man.
It took a lot of scheduling.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it just took hey, do you want to be on the show? Yeah, I'll be on the show.
We literally only had to schedule like an hour back than what's normal, and if anything, it's, like there's not really a normal.
I mean,
so
I think you're like average listener.
Yeah,
it's probably awake around this hour.
9:30. 9:30 is a pretty good.
But we probably have a pretty like a young viewer base, so I'd say they're probably
we're aiming for years 5 to 6 right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I know we all in this room know who you are, but not everyone else does. I could like throw some questions at you if that makes things easier.
That might.
Okay. So where are you from?
I'm from McKinney, Texas. So it's like around Dallas. There's just like suburban type cities surrounding the Dallas area. It's one of those. It's around like 45 minutes to an hour away.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it's an average suburb.
Yeah, it really is. Cool. It's like it's a 4-hour drive from here.
Okay.
So I just take like 35 and it's like a straight shot pretty much the entire time.
Okay. I guess that's not too
bad.
Yeah, it really isn't.
So what's your major then?
Philosophy pre-law.
So with that, so you're taking philosophy.
Yeah, so I'll get my bachelor's in philosophy, and then like using that bachelor's, I will I'm gonna go to law school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is gonna be a chunk of our time, hopefully. We're gonna go into hobbies. So the first one I have on here, which is a good people when you ask someone like what's your favorite movie, a lot of times people can't answer that.
Right.
So this is no. So here's what I put. What movie could you watch over and over again?
See,
just
but the thing
forever.
is like the reason people don't answer that is because there's so many movies running through their head.
I know, but I feel like this narrows it down a little bit. This narrows it down a little bit. Or if you got a couple movies, go ahead. If you want to think up about it, I could go ahead and watch.
I know I have one.
Okay,
if you want to go first.
No. If you got one, I mean, you're the guest. I'd rather hear yours.
The first movie I ever saw in theaters, or that wasn't like a cartoon or something like that, was the 2001 Spider-Man.
Okay, that was a good one actually.
Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure that set me on the path I am right now in this current moment. I could probably watch that movie over and over again. That's one of my favorite movies.
What about you, Brendan?
No, why don't you go?
Oh well, I know the first one off the top of my head that I know I could definitely watch just endlessly would probably be "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou."
All right,
yeah,
that's a really good. That's a very good movie.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen that.
It's very good.
Brendan, you've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it with George Clooney, right?
We're gonna have to have a movie night.
That is a really good movie.
Okay, we'll have
maybe even after this broadcast is over, I'm gonna have to tie you down and make you watch this fucking.
Okay, we'll watch Where Brother.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah. George Clooney. I can't remember any of the other actors because it's George Clooney.
It's George Clooney and two goofy
really
bastards. Well, they're all goofy bastards.
Yeah,
and it's really funny.
For me, see, I'm a big Tarantino fan.
Okay.
And a big Brad Pitt fan.
Ooh.
So
Gran Torino.
Gran Torino is a good movie.
So I would say first one would be Fight Club. I don't.
Fight Club is a really.
That movie is incredible.
Would it kill you inside if I told you I've never seen Fight Club?
A little bit, yeah. Fight Club's really good. That's a really good movie. That I don't know.
I didn't see that till high school. I went over to a friend's house and we were all watching it. That's
that movie. Movie. If you don't know the spoiler of it already, which it ends up that a lot of people do know the spoiler, which sucks because if you know it without the spoiler, it blows your mind.
I feel like that happens with a lot of movies that have really big twists because that becomes the thing that kind of defines the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So people talk about
the first Planet of the Apes. You can't find a DVD or Blu-ray container where it doesn't have the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah,
on the
and that's
cover.
like that's
But
supposed
that's
to be
like the big
it's supposed
thing,
to be the
'cause it
huge
turns
twist
out-
at the
yeah,
end.
it turns out it's Earth, and they're like they freak out and stuff. And then the same with Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure when anybody comes to existence, like just they already know that Darth Vader is Luke's father. Like regardless if they
Mhm.
wanted to keep it as a surprise.
Yeah.
A funny thing to do is like go on YouTube and watch kids like react to finding out that Darth Vader is Luke's father, and they lose it. They like
Well,
their
everybody
jaw
knows it 'cause-
drops, and they like look at their parents like.
Everybody knows though because like even
That's
if
what I'm
you,
saying.
even
like,
if you haven't seen the movie, you've heard Luke, I am your father.
at
Come
least
out of Darth Vader's.
once,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no way you haven't.
Mhm.
What's another movie I could watch over and over again?
My other one is Inglourious Bastards.
I
Love
haven't
that
okay.
seen that.
I've seen
Love
bits
that
and
movie.
pieces of that.
I really
but it
like
seems
that movie.
really good.
In case you guys can't tell, I don't watch movies.
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
not enough of them.
I love going to the movies.
I like going to the movies, but like I know like a lot of
It's-
people just sit in the room.
it's
and watch
hard-
movies all
no,
day,
it's
and I'm
hard
just
to do
like,
that.
Can't do it.
It's really difficult to do that. Like I watched, I tried to watch Memento, but not all at once,
Yeah.
and that is the biggest mistake you can make. Of like
Well,
any,
Memento, isn't it like he's trying to remember? 'Cause he
Yeah,
has all the
so-
tattoos.
yeah. So he's got extremely short-term memory loss, like to the point where like, if I'm like over there if I'm like typing on a computer, and then somebody like slams a car door, and I like look up to like see what's happening with that car door that was slammed, I like forget what I'm doing on the computer. And you like look at the computer, and it's like you never did that before. Like you have no idea how that got onto the computer. Like any words that you
Yeah,
typed like 10 seconds before, you have no idea how
That's
that
not
got
a
on.
movie you could like drop out of.
So yeah, and
It's
basically,
like missing 15 minutes in Inception. Like you're screwed.
yeah, you like you don't know what you're And Christopher Nolan directs it, and he's like one of those like guys where it's like he's on another level.
Yeah.
And so I just was like,
That's another movie.
I
Have you
just-
guys seen The Prestige?
I saw
The
that when I was
Prestige
young.
is awesome. That's
It
like
was
one
a
of
good
his like.
movie.
Not a lot of people talk about The Prestige. But that's like a really good movie. It has Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale,
Right.
and they're magicians, like competing magicians.
In
And so they
England,
keep
right?
trying to
Like,
one up each other with the tricks they're doing, but
And
it
it
becomes
gets
turning into
hella
like a deadly
dangerous.
game.
oh
And-
shit.
Crazy stuff happens, and it has one of those twist endings where if you go back and watch it a second time, and Wes just dropped his phone. But if you go back and watch it a second time, you're like, what?
Yeah, it's like
That's
one of those
cool.
where you
I haven't seen
You
that.
can pick up more stuff the more times you watch it. Is it like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Because like I'm gonna try and like avoid, but like the thing that it hinges on, like when you go back and like that's like what is going on, like
Mhm.
like the scenes just have like a little bit more depth to them.
Right.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'll have to look into that then. I haven't seen that
Maybe
one.
we can watch that. As a
I like
too.
magic
Prestige.
movies too.
Dude,
I've always liked
The
them.
magic tricks in that, like, man.
One scene I specifically remember, and I haven't seen that movie in a really long time, but I remember where he tries to catch the freaking bullet out of the little flintlock pistol, and it just
Yeah.
goes straight through his hand. He starts screaming, and it's like bleed,
Oh.
like
Well, that's what I'm saying.
blood
Like, because
everywhere.
they start like competing,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and he puts on a disguise to go up there,
Right.
and he like just totally shoots.
They
his
had it
hand off.
practiced, right?
I mean,
I
yeah,
guess something went wrong though.
yeah, dude. So cool.
I'll have to look into that. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
haven't seen that one.
I can't really like. Very rarely do I watch movies by myself, though.
See, I'm
yeah,
different.
That's not as enjoyable.
I don't like watching movies with other people.
Seriously?
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. If I'm watching a movie that I've never seen before, I don't want somebody talking to my ear. I want to like figure that shit out for myself.
Yeah.
And like and then
What? Dude, can me and you not sit there and watch a movie and I don't?
That's because I know you, but I can't watch a movie because I know that you're not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And then
that's
I'm-
Jalen Goff, everybody. My roommate, my favorite sit-in.
and then on the other hand, like if I'm watching a movie with someone who's never seen the movie, I don't want them like talking to my ear asking me questions.
Yeah.
So it's just like I'd rather just watch a movie by
Can
myself.
I do like a shameless plug real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to say
Anything.
hi to my girlfriend Bailey. She's listening right now. The Prestige is like a movie we watched like multiple times, and that's why it's like awesome to me. But
Mhm.
hi.
That's sweet.
But like I'm the same. Like see, I'm the same way. Like in the movies. Like, well, if I'm watching with friends and I know they've seen it, then it's like kind of fun to talk during the movie because they already
Right.
know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
it's a
still
bit
not, you're not
different.
really missing.
If
I should have
You
clarified.
can miss a little bit and still know
If
what's going
somebody,
on.
if somebody hasn't seen it, then I get like, I get so livid. Or like another thing is like, cause I try and have movie nights like every Sunday with my friends here, right?
Mhm.
And like, any one of them pulls out their phone when we're trying to watch the movie, I'm like,
But that doesn't like. Does that distract you or no? It just makes you mad because
yeah,
they're
it
not
doesn't
paying
distract
attention.
me. But like, I'm like, there's important.
There's a movie going on.
It's never like with like not important things are happening. It's like right with the important stuff they
Yeah.
have to know. They
There's
pull
about
out
to be a
their
hell of a
phone.
plot twist. I'm gonna check Twitter real quick.
See that like that really like and like that isn't as bad like you know in like just like when you're hanging out with friends, but in the movie theater, if it's like a you know like a quieter film and stuff like that, and like you haven't seen it, like I can't stand when people talk in the theater, like not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't like.
Well, I mean like action movies and stuff have those moments where you go like whoa,
Yeah.
like you know it's like that's all right, but like if it's dude, if someone's talking. In the
It can be
theater-
kind of funny like during a horror movie. People say the most outrageous things whenever they
Oh
get
my
scared. Like,
gosh.
holy shit!
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
go in there.
You always
don't go
go-
in there." Like,
That is funny.
almost like when that kind of stuff happens, it's almost like good in a way because like
That's what I'm saying.
it makes all the audience like together as a
Yeah.
family in a way.
they're low key.
You get that
Yeah.
that like mom back there that's like shit. What the fuck's going on?
The funnest like ever like movie like screening I've ever been to was I went to the 10 o'clock showing of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice,
Mm.
and before the movie started, like sides of the theater were like chanting Batman or Superman, and you could tell who was on what side.
Oh, man.
And then you had like a group of girls in the top like left corner going like Wonder Woman, and like
Wow.
which she turned out to be like one of the best parts of that movie. But like when it started getting to the actual fight, you heard like everybody like peek up in their chairs and like start slapping their friend, and so like every punch was just like, oh, like it was so great.
It's like being at B-dubs and watching football.
I'm yet to do that.
Oh man.
Oh, we're gonna do that too.
Or
then.
freaking
God.
dude, Hunter, UFC fight at B-dubs. You go
Oh,
crazy.
really?
It gets even if you don't
Dude.
give one shit about the fight, it gets really exciting.
Dude, I bet when we had the Mayweather McGregor fight, I bet B-dubs was just like
Oh, God.
packed.
We went to B-dubs and we were just watching like some non-title
Yeah, there was-
heavyweights.
Yeah.
And
It was still pretty lit.
The boxing match was on that.
there was a boxing. Yeah, it was the
Canelo,
big.
Canelo.
It was Canelo and Golovkin. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Triple G is what he goes by because you literally can't say his last name. So it's But we were watching some. There was like some UFC fights going on, and like those were pretty fun to watch. Like
Oh, the underfights are what's.
Yeah,
so
the underfights are where-
because
they were
so
actually-
damn.
yeah, no, the underfights. It's
Yeah,
like
because the underfights is a bunch of guys that don't have a name yet.
so they're just
out
trying to
there
prove themselves. It
freaking
was really
sacrificing their body
interesting.
to make a name for themselves. It's pretty
Dude.
badass.
I couldn't do that.
Oh man, it was so
Mm-mm.
much fun.
Mm-mm.
Have you guys seen Daredevil?
Yeah.
I
The
haven't
show?
seen it.
Has everyone in the room seen
Dang
it?
it,
I don't. Well, we
know.
can't spoil it.
Well,
though,
yeah, I
because
can't
people
spoil
are
it for the
fucked.
people who are
haven't
listening
seen
either.
Well, I haven't seen
need
it.
to watch
You can't
Like,
spoil it for me either.
Moral of the story. Like, if you're listening and you haven't watched Daredevil,
You need to watch.
go
it.
watch
You
Daredevil.
need to watch
It's like
Daredevil.
it's amazing. It's so good. Yeah, like what are you doing? If you have a Netflix subscription,
So
if you know
amazing.
somebody with a Netflix subscription,
It's so amazing that
Like,
it made Hunter want to
play.
become Daredevil. Actually,
dude. I mean, like
What Halloween?
Halloween. Yeah, I'm definitely like going as Matt Murdock. It's happening. And then yeah, like if you are listening, like you can like leave a comment and we'll like
Yeah, we might.
talk, like
If it's a
Totally
good
leave a
talking
if it's
point,
if
you
it's a
got
good
any,
talking point,
got
we'll
any
like
questions? Yeah, to throw at us. Absolutely.
I don't even care if it's a good comment. I don't care if you roast me. I'll roast you back right now. We'll pull up your profile picture. And I'll go deep on you.
when we do.
Well, dude,
I'm not sure if I can condone that. I mean, I might have to leave.
Okay, so next, I guess we'll move on. We got so like favorite song, band, you like groups, whatever. Just like
Jeez.
we can just kind of dive into that. Just
This
music.
is like. Oh,
This is
oh,
gonna-
Yeah, I know. This is
worms.
really big.
This is
Yeah.
gonna discuss so many people because I listen to everything.
Yeah, I
Literally
know.
everything.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have like
It's-
a favorite?
Yeah, you
like,
do know. I mean,
Do you have a favorite like genre?
No, I
You
listen to
try it.
everything.
See, that's how I listen to like rock.
Mhm.
That's where I thrive.
Right.
But yeah, I try and listen to everything because like when you start listening to more like varied stuff, it's awesome because like you see like the look on somebody's face like light up when you're like, wait, you listen to like them too, and they're like, no way, and then they're like, dude, that album or that song, like it's that is I feel like that's like my favorite way to connect with people because like music like everybody gets to like not choose necessarily, but like everybody likes something different with music. It's like that's something that's so like personal to them, you know. It's like they choose you choose the soundtrack to your life, essentially.
Music is a very personal thing. It's a very personal thing. Then again, it's not. It's like it's one of those things.
It can be both.
It
kind of depends.
It's more the setting that you're in.
Yeah.
Than like you know.
I feel like when it comes down to it, like I listen to everything, but then I feel like when it really comes down to it, it's classic rock for me all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I grew up like always pretty much listening to music based on my parents really like music too. So I always I grew up listening to like 80s rock like all the time, and that's like on like my daily mixes, that Spotify mix for you. That's literally like a whole playlist essentially that it makes for me because it knows I like 80s rock.
Yeah.
If you're listening, you should totally comment what your favorite 80s song is because mine is "Waiting for a Girl Like You" by Foreigner, and that is, I love that song, and it's like, that song is so great. I don't know what it is either. I think it's just like so like smooth sounding, like the synths.
There's some songs that, recently.
Carry on my wayward son. Jalen, you're in here. You played that Guitar Hero 2, I think is what it was on.
I believe I played it in Rock Band.
They put it in Rock Band.
They put it in
Yeah.
I didn't play much Guitar Hero.
Oh,
Rock Band was
I feel like
real good.
Rock Band.
Rock Band. Rock Band.
Dude, we used to play Rock Band.
Well, doesn't Guitar Hero now you can have like a band on it?
I'm not sure how it
Because I
works.
totally thought you could do that. Because I definitely did that last year on like Guitar Hero 3.
I haven't played guitar.
I don't know about the whole band,
It's-
but I think there's a microphone that you can sing while playing.
Yeah.
I don't know about like, the drums.
I definitely like. You can just hum into it and it counts. I don't
Yeah.
think it like counts like your pronunciation.
No, it definitely doesn't, because that's how it was on. Like I said, me and Jalen over there, we used to play Rock Band 2 all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you don't know the song,
You
you're
just
still
gotta
trying to get that
hum.
perfect score.
If
You're
you,
gonna hum that bitch
if you
out.
hum it, you just gotta follow like the
Yeah, the little,
pitches,
like,
and
there's
you're
like a
gonna
little arrow.
yeah,
down
yeah.
the lines
Yeah.
and then you can still get 100 on it.
Dude, those were some good. Dude, Rock Band was the greatest. And
That
like,
was a fun game.
like a lot of that is like old, like classic rock and
Right.
kind of stuff
That's-
like that.
that's
And so
why I
that's what
like
my
it so
parents
much.
listened to. So like, we knew like every song on Rock Band. There's like 2 songs, or really one that I would, because like nobody really wanted to sing when you're younger, because you're
Right.
like.
You're
That's embarrassing,
Really
you know?
self-conscious about it.
But the one song I would sing is "Danny California" by the Red Hot Chili
Okay.
Peppers. That is the one song I would sing on Rock
I
Band.
love Red Hot, dude.
Danny California was like, that's it. And then
Brendan, did you just shake your head at me?
No, it's just
Dude, we'll beef.
No, no, no,
we'll
no,
beef.
no.
No, don't even say
I'm
we'll
not-
beef. We'll beef. We'll beef. Stop.
I'm not like not a, like what's the word? I can't articulate myself today. I'm not like putting you down for liking that song. I got tired of that song because
Do you
I
at
heard
least like that band?
What's
honestly I've grown tired of Red Hot Chili Peppers because I've listened to their music
No
so goddamn
way.
much.
Brendan, get on the podcast.
You know how much I used to listen to that band. It was like every day,
How do you listen to
every day,
Have you listened to
like for
I've,
years.
I've worn songs out, but I haven't worn whole bands out.
I have.
That's hard to
that
do.
takes
It was
that
so-
takes
a lot of time.
skill.
It was.
Like,
It literally turned to the point where it was like, I like knew like when one of their songs came on, it was just like I heard like the rhythm and I was just like I almost dreaded it
you almost dreaded
because
it.
I heard it so much and I was just like I can't do this anymore.
Have you heard their new album, Gateway,
Mm-mm.
or their newest album? That's a good album.
I'll look into it. I maybe
That might
maybe
get
if I,
you
like,
back into
maybe
it.
if I look back at it,
There's
it'll
two.
be good.
There's
But
like the first 2 songs in that album. I haven't listened to the album in a while.
I grow
but
tired of
the first
music
2 songs
pretty
in that album
fast.
I definitely really like. And it is one of them is like the Gateway that the album's named after. And that's like the other one is Dark Necessities.
What's up?
So I do have a question about what labels an album good, right? Like, is it when every single song on the album is good, or would you say like a few of them?
Dude, that's all. I don't know.
I think I can answer that pretty quickly.
Okay.
Well, at least on my side.
Go
I think it's when the majority of the songs in the album are good. Because
Yeah.
there's only one album that I like. That every single song is like a banger, and I think that's like literally the perfect album.
Tell me what album it is.
It's called Mothership by Dance Gavin Dance.
No, it's called Culture Album by Migos.
Okay,
By me,
we definitely don't listen to
Yeah.
the same kind of music. If anybody listens to Dance Gavin Dance, hit me up. I have yet to meet
Dude.
someone that's listened to it.
Can we please get like one person? Because I've
Don't
never
lie
heard
to me
of
though.
him. Yeah,
Don't lie to
yeah,
me,
don't lie.
because I'll know. But that entire album, like I really like, but
There's
like,
not a
there-
single
there's, like-
song in there that you don't like.
yeah. But other than that, there's no other album where it's like every single
See,
song I
easy
like. Where I won't like skip a song. Like on that album, I will listen to the entire album without skipping a song, but I can't do that with any other album. So I think in my mind that's the perfect album. So what makes a good album, like I said, is when the majority of the songs on the album are good.
Okay.
Okay.
So Culture, that's a great album then.
Yeah, because there's maybe one bad song.
I don't even
Dude,
know if
So
that's
there you go.
Yeah,
My-
that's pushing
Valid
it, dude.
point.
That's pushing it.
and Birds in the Trap. There's like maybe one song that's not up to par with the rest of them.
Travis.
Dr. Girls.
Tristan?
He hasn't put out a bad song in his life. So. Does that make him the perfect artist?
You ever?
I mean,
BTG.
that's your opinion.
I don't
Your
know.
opinion.
Like with album, I'm not sure if you classify it by like.
That's how I would classify it.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Obviously
yeah,
changes.
Like I would do it by like. I don't know. Listening to an album is so much different than listening. Like an album has a different experience than a set of like songs. Than like actually just like, oh, hey, this, like you could just say, oh, this set of songs is good, but like listening to an album is like an experience that's kind of in and of itself.
Especially when the songs
In a way.
correlate with each other.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I'm.
it kind
Yeah,
of tells the story.
exactly. So like, I wouldn't judge it by like, well, I mean, I guess like this, all the songs have to be like, you know, good. But
Right.
like, I think whether or not the album, like the songs of the albums are cohesive with like whatever they're trying to like portray.
Right? Like the title of the album.
Yeah, or like the ideas behind
Okay.
it. So like, my shameless plug for my favorite band, Nothing More, kills at this. I think they're like, and it's kind of like a fading art form of music.
Right.
don't
where,
find
where
a lot
the
of-
whole album portrays one kind of general idea.
You don't find a lot of album groups or people. A lot of like what you hear on the radio is like hot singles,
mixtapes for sure.
mixtapes, and like that's pretty much it.
Or they'll make an album, but it'll literally just be
A
singles.
mixtape.
It may as well just be
yeah,
singles.
Mixtape
yeah,
that they
exactly.
just slap the name album on.
Or they make like 2 or 3 good songs and they release those as singles because they know those will get airtime on the radio,
Mhm.
and then they just make like the other like songs don't even
I hadn't thought
come
about
up to like that. So like Nothing More is like an album band.
that. Mm-hmm.
And so like there are songs that I love in and of themselves, but like I would never like sacrifice that kind of thinking or like stay with that kind of thinking because like each one of their albums is more important to me in my head than just one or two of their songs.
Okay, so would you rather have just one of those songs on that album, or have the whole, or not have the album at all? So like, would you rather just have one, or just completely never be able to listen to the album again? In that sense.
I mean, the question like if I'm choosing between No Nothing More and Some Nothing More, I'm
Yeah.
choosing Some Nothing More.
Okay.
But like, I don't know. I think that's what makes them special. And a lot of the groups I listen to, I think that's what makes them special. I think it's really cool. And like I said, it's not something you hear a lot. A better known person / group that does it or has done something really cool like this is John Bellion. Now, sometimes he doesn't really have songs that like connect in of each other like some of the other groups I listen to do. But like the message you still get across. His album's called The Human Condition, and the last song called Hand of God, like every chorus in each one of the songs on that album are used in the last song of that.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
And like
shit.
if you ever get the chance, like I'm telling you, like tonight if you're laying in your bed, put your headphones in, turn on full blast, listen to the full like album, and when you get to that last song, you might weep. It is
Yeah.
literally
That's
like
badass, man.
like one of the coolest musical like things that I've ever heard, and it's just amazing. And it wouldn't have its effect if you didn't know the rest of the album.
Like if you didn't listen to the
Yeah,
rest of it before the
but if you just listen to it, you'd be like, wow, that's like really like artistic. Like it's a kick-ass song by itself, but like when you listen to the album, that's what makes it even like more so like that. It's just, and then there's one band I have called that I listen to called Periphery. Now both Periphery, nothing more like more alternative heavy rock, but Periphery has 2 albums that are both like called Juggernaut, right? And so the first one is Juggernaut Alpha, and the second one is Juggernaut Omega. And so, fun fact, both these albums are like one song.
What?
So
Every song feeds into each other, and the 2
Okay.
albums feed into each other, and multiple themes and multiple songs occur
Oh,
I
God.
know.
in multiple
Jeez.
songs. And so when you get to like, they have this one song in the Omega album. They have a song called Omega, and in the Alpha album, they have a song called Alpha.
Mhm.
And the theme that's in Alpha, when you get to Omega, I'm kind of spoil it for you, but like, it's still awesome when like, cause you might, people are probably gonna forget if you're listening to this, but listen to it for free. So at the very end of this song, it's an 11-minute song.
Mhm.
So it's like a long time, and this whole uplifter happens, and like these kind of like more happier chords are starting to get played more, and you're like, yeah, this is kick ass, and then right when you think you're reaching the peak of this uplifter, they bring it back down into the theme from Alpha,
Oh no.
and it's like goosebumps.
Wow.
It is so cool. Like I said, like I don't know. The more I've been listening to music, the more I've been kind of like finding groups that do something like different than what
Yeah,
and like
that would be-
that's one thing that I really like to do now is listen to albums more than singles.
Yeah.
So like if you ever get the chance, like The Human Condition by John Belly, and now Alpha and Omega, like I'd be happy if y'all listened to them, but that is a large amount of time to be listening to 2 albums in a
Well, if there's
row.
11-minute songs on them.
I mean,
Damn.
Jesus.
That's
Yeah.
a long
You know,
song,
Periphery,
dude.
Periphery is one of those bands that does not like hesitate to like put out as much music as they can.
Yeah.
And so is
I don't-
nothing.
I'm not mad at that.
So is
Yeah.
Nothing More. I mean, their new album now. Granted, some of the songs are like feeding kind of like idea kind of things. Like they have Alan Watts, like monologues playing that like, because they're like a forward thinking band. So like they kind of like match with their like what they want to try and say with the album. But like when you listen to it from song to song, it's just like it's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It is so awesome. And like they released singles over the summer leading into this album, right?
Mhm.
And so when I finally listened to the album, like hearing it in context with the album was like
That's so much
Was-
work. They had to put in so much work for that.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I like those groups a lot, because you just like they're putting like
Mhm.
so much thought.
Yeah.
Do you know how
And-
long
and-
that took to make the,
I mean,
Oh my
their
God.
last album I think came out in like
or well, just like the time gap, I suppose, because it's asking how long it took. It could have taken.
Well, think
So
about
they
it.
could have
You're
started.
right-
They could
you're
have
sitting there
started.
writing 11-minute songs.
Yeah,
How
I know.
long does it take to write
well, I mean
a
like
fucking song?
apparently like a lot of the song like process making like you have ideas for songs, and like I was watching like interviews with Nothing More today, and like some song ideas like don't end up making it, or they don't end up like panning out and stuff like that. So I mean, I have no idea what it's like to make an album. I have no idea what
It's
that
so
process
beyond
is
me.
like.
Like would the band just sit down and think of
That's
the individual
I-
ideas?
Well, not
or
only-
they think of one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it's so impressive when you get an album that's cohesive and,
Right.
like, it's just, like, just the brainchild of 4 different guys who sat down from, I'm looking it up now, 3 years since their last album
Oh,
that they
God.
came up with, and they, like, and it's just, like, and, like, they're not a popular band, so, like, most people would be, like, this music has no business being this good. I think
Mhm.
was like the title for like the Huffington Post like
I think
review
about
of
that.
their album.
I think about that kind of stuff a lot with the music I listen to. Like I said, like no one listens to it, but I'll listen to a song, but like literally no one's gonna hear this song except for like
Brendan, you listen to weirdo music. I've watched
150,000 people.
Dude,
I know, but
I
like
try to listen to
I
a
like it.
lot of music. So if you like, just come by my room and tell me like, hey, you should check these guys out, because I like this is all the music I have on Spotify.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I see. I can't do
That's
that.
a lot of music, dude. He's scrolling through this. It's probably
He's been. I mean,
How
we've
many
been
pages do you
we've
think
been
that is?
I
scrolling
have no
since
idea.
he said.
Yeah, I've been scrolling for like.
It's been a while.
it's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's quite the amount of songs.
what else do you have for us, Brendan?
Okay, since we like to get onto philosophical sort of things,
Yeah. Let's do it.
I got something, and since you're in philosophy, 1 second.
No, you're good. You're good. Or.
We have a special guest.
Especially
Yes.
you're on like right now.
You're on
It's
the air,
live.
so
Oh, it's
Yeah.
delayed, so I heard the voices in there and your
Oh, okay.
mouths weren't moving,
Yeah.
so I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh.
what's
This
up?
is Mary Alice. She's one of the CMs, or the only CM on the first floor.
That's right.
mhm.
So she's one of my work partners.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Any
How's it going?
comments?
Welcome on
Any
the
plugs? Shameless plug. Not
Um,
your time to shine in front of 3 people.
I won the chili cook-off tonight.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we had a chili cook-off at
Yeah.
the.
Good job.
That
Congratulations.
is so cool. Thanks.
See ya.
Which one?
I mean,
I put a sign up. I put a sign up. I don't know why it's not working. It literally says, "Don't fucking come in here."
So we they do this podcast literally in the study room, like across from pretty much literally on the floor. So like people walk by and they like
We have a
Well,
sign up.
yeah, but we like
It's a little
so we have a
voice.
I
sign
just
up.
made her read my sign because she didn't read it the first time before she fucking came in.
Oh my God! Wow.
Well, Brendan waves. So
I know. I
yeah.
want. She wanted
Brendan-
to say
Brendan
something.
I like
so.
pointed to the sign, and she like thought I was trying to tell her to open the door.
Okay. So what I was saying was, since you're in philosophy, I've got a question here. What idea or like train of thought said like that you've learned has like just completely blown your mind? That it's just like how do you like you can't like fathom it. So like,
That was quick.
yeah, I know.
That was really
That's a
cool.
pretty quick transition.
Yeah, I know. I
Just
didn't.
more-
Whatever.
We just no more. We just want to chop. You know.
Yep.
If anybody's got something, shout it out because this can be kind of difficult to like think about.
This is the
We're
part where
incorporating.
the
We're
sit-ins-
incorporating
to
everything.
the 5 people watching now.
The sit-ins
Like
are
this
bellying up to
is
the
this
table.
is this is where you really like say like. Okay, so this is what's going on.
the podcast just
Alright,
started.
so give us time to think.
Alright,
Read
this
the
is-
question again.
Well, I mean,
Okay,
like
yeah.
I have.
I'll
I
read
kind
the.
of have my answer.
All right, I'll read the question real quick, and then we can go around and say it. So the question is, what idea or thought has completely blown your mind? Like that
Just
you
in
or
general?
that you like no like. Well, I suppose in general, I was
Yeah.
thinking it was directed more at Hunter, but I mean obviously I want everyone to answer, but for Hunter's sake, I want to hear like philosophy wise, because like that's what you're majoring in, so I feel like that'd be a little more interesting because you can give us more insight on it than maybe like if Wes were to talk about it or somebody else.
Let's talk about that stuff, dude.
If somebody has something like Jalen, you said you had something.
Yeah.
We have 2 Jalen's in here by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
sure this
is
pretty
gonna be-
confusing.
It's gonna be difficult to understand who we're talking to, but hopefully we can catch on. So yeah, you have something?
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, kind of how this whole podcast ended up starting
Mhm.
was through a big philosophy discussion.
Yeah.
And the one thing that was tripping me up the most was Josh was telling me about how we can't prove
Dude, don't get me
anything.
started on this.
All right, no,
This
just let him
was
explain.
the
Let him
debate
explain.
of that night. Like I kept coming out
Let
because I
him-
like had to shower and stuff, and everybody's like, "You can't prove this, okay?" Like.
So let him explain it really quick, and then we can talk
so
about it.
what happened
more.
was we ended up talking, and then Josh was like, "Well, in philosophy class, I learned that you really can't prove anything. You can only know
He
things."
read it as philosophy
And I was
textbook.
like, I was just like, bro,
Well,
what are you
that's-
talking about? Like, you know, we're here, like, we're living. This is like normal stuff for us. I understood what he was saying, but the thing that was tripping me up is he kept throwing out this
Well,
stuff.
when you
like,
start thinking about it, that's
Yeah,
when you
he
really
kept-
like. You're like when you accept the terms that like somebody like a philosopher's like basis is off of, then you really start like, wait, what? Like,
yeah,
you
because
start going down that
he
rabbit
kept
hole.
bringing up the fact that I couldn't prove that I was in a computer program, or I'm not in a computer program right now.
Mhm.
He said, prove to me you're not in a computer program right now. And it was pissing me off.
Because you can't. It's impossible to.
Because it sounded so stupid though. But I could not. I didn't have anything to say back to him, and it was.
But before that, he was saying that you just couldn't prove anything in general.
Yeah.
And my idea was that if I'm holding my phone 3 inches above my hand and I drop it, 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 times, my phone is going to fall.
Well,
And I can prove that. And he was saying, no, you can't.
the whole thing, because he was reading out of like David Hume's philosophy.
Right.
And so David Hume's point, what he was trying to make, is from what I can gather after looking at his textbook, is David Hume is saying that you can't rely on your senses to tell you how reality really is. So like, yeah, your senses are telling you that your phone's dropping, but how do you know your senses aren't really what's like
That's a pretty shitty theory.
navigating
That's
reality?
just like degrading to human science. I feel like
That's
It's
exactly
It's kind of
exactly my
counterintuitive.
point.
It's kind of
Philosophy-
counterintuitive to
philosophy-
everything we've ever learned.
So I had my philosophy of dreams class today, and so my professor said that philosophy takes place, like the things we like kind of like go over take place between science and like religion and ideology. We take like we think about the things that like come from crap. And there's empirical data and what data?
You're asking the
You're
wrong
asking-
people.
You're asking a bunch of freshmen.
But
You're asking
crap,
the
like,
wrong
somebody in the
people.
comments should totally what there's empirical data and there's what? Please out of the
Is it
6
like-
people
is it
watching right now.
testimony.
Is it like
Right,
peripheral?
seven.
Is it
It's like-
explicit data? No, that can't
And
be.
molecular?
peripheral?
Molecular?
No, not
It's like peripheral or something like that, right?
So what's the definition of empirical? So we can come up with it.
Empirical with an I is basically like that's the side of like religion. Like like you have to imply
Okay.
like what it is essentially. So empirical data is like a hypothesis.
With an I, so it's
essentially.
empirical with an E.
And then I think
Empirical and empirical
this
is
is yeah.
It's with an
okay.
E.
Yeah.
Empirical is evidence empirical evidence is information acquired by observation or experimentation.
Because
So
it's,
logic-
it's the
so
that's
logic
that's
versus-
this is like the science type of, and then empirical data with an I
Empirical. Oh, that's the wrong one.
is like which
you
I'm
have to
doing really-
imply something. Okay.
I'm sorry.
oh my gosh.
I'm trying
Jalen, you want to attest to that comment?
Talk the African American experience in the United
Dude, this
States.
is one of my friends back home.
Oh man, that's a huge change of topic.
to.
Well, I
We
think
can- we
I
can
think
go
we'll
to
get.
that
I
later.
think
Well,
yeah, I think
yeah,
we'll
we
get to
can
that
touch
after.
on that.
I think we get to But that.
Later
as I was
on.
saying, like philosophy takes place where we like use empirical and empirical and empirical data, which I'm still not sure if that's right.
I don't
Like,
think that's right. 'Cause
You-
empirical data is not a thing.
that's see.
I googled it and it's not a thing.
But
I'll
anyway,
look it up. I'll keep looking.
Yeah.
it's empirical data is the logic science actual database thing, and then like we deal with like the things that like beliefs, like things that you really can't objectively.
Is it analytical data?
I don't think so.
It's okay. Nobody's gonna roast you for
Yeah,
that.
no one's gonna
We'll
know.
just say
Dude,
empirical
I'm gonna
and
get. There's
belief.
gonna be a comment, and it's gonna be like you're shitty. philosophy.
You're a terrible student.
But anyway, that's what he was saying earlier today. So going off to what we were talking about earlier, we know based on empirical data
Yeah.
that when you drop that phone, it's gonna hit. But we also have to think about that other side of it, where the things that we really can't prove with empirical data, like whether or not your senses are how you perceive reality
But we
or
make
what
machines
reality
for that.
is.
Ooh.
Who should
We make machines for that.
But we make the
To-
machines with our
to-
consciousness and our senses. So
Don't
how do
even
we know that
start.
it?
Don't even
There you
That's
go.
even
If
senses.
you're gonna say that, then the world doesn't exist, and we're just floating in space. That's exactly what you're saying.
So to give a little background on this, I came back after I think it was band, and I ate dinner, and then I came back, and Josh is trying to explain David Hume to everybody on the floor,
Yeah.
and they're having a field day with what the hell is he talking about? And he's
It sounded so stupid. It's just so it's so off the walls. That's there's no way.
yeah, but
you
see,
said-
then
you
you
have that-
started thinking about it, and you're like, he has a point. I can't prove I'm not
That's so frustrating because God, that computer program thing is pissing me off. I'm like, Josh, we're not in a computer program. If there's somebody out there who thinks that we're in a computer program,
Okay, well,
I will smack
Elon
them.
Musk
but-
believes
okay,
in
so
the
besides-
computer.
besides-
I
You're
will
gonna
slap them
go
all
smack Elon Musk then, because he believes
Yeah,
we're
dude,
in a
Elon Musk
computer.
is a huge believer in this. Like he's 100% convinced that he lives in
But
a
then
computer
Jalen,
simulation.
White,
and he's one of probably the smartest, like most
He's
intelligent
one of-
people.
yeah, no,
on
but
the
that's
planet.
what White Jen was saying. If he believes that so well, then what was the point of living? Was what
Exactly.
that's what
Why
you're
even
saying.
go on with humanity if we're never going to amount to anything because we'll never know anything?
That's
And so I believe that we should. I mean, yeah, he
Well,
makes a
that's
good
what I'm saying,
point.
like,
He
it's-
makes a good point, but why even?
It's not something that you have to like adhere by to that way of thinking. I mean, David Hume apparently did, but
Right.
you don't have to like accept it as fact because it's your life and you can do it however
But
you
Josh,
please.
Josh was getting in the last word every time, and I just had to keep going. That's
That's
Yeah.
why we were up
So
for
anyway,
2.5
I
hours.
came up, and so Josh was reading out of his textbook, and I helped explain like Hume to everybody on the floor, and so then everybody was like, okay, and then like from then on, like everybody like there was one of those round table conversations where everybody's like
Everybody's
I
trying
go
to
over
hammer
here,
Josh
I go
while
over
he's like-
here, and it's like, okay, so time doesn't exist, or if this happens, and, it's like, and then like Jalen's over like, so the gravity in a black hole, I gave him
it just evolved into all that bullshit, like all
It
that
was-
serious.
Yeah, that was
God.
I think
We ended up talking about lucid dreaming and astral projection.
Okay,
Dude,
that
my
stuff is
philosophy
so
dreams
out
class,
of the
I was
blue.
thinking-
I know.
I don't understand
But
why
talking
it's a top.
about philosophical things like that, you get all these different ideas of just things that, because philosophy is such a
broad
It-
thing.
it
There's
is.
no specifics to it. You throw out a theory, which some of the theories I think shouldn't even be theories because they're so stupid. Or not stupid, but like
Well, like
they don't really apply to anything. You know, what's the point of having a theory that says when you sleep, your fucking consciousness gets sucked into a fucking blood? like, what the
Okay,
fuck?
no, can I? I don't want to explain that. Actually, people will fucking roast me for that shit.
No, I know what he means. He's just like, who the fuck knows? Nobody knows. Like,
Yeah, it does.
let's be
It
real.
does come down to that.
Good,
Yeah, I
good,
mean,
good
maybe-
comments. Good comment, Dennis.
I think we
That's
talked.
alright.
We ended up talking about just random like shit like that for no joke, like 4.5
Oh, we
hours.
probably hit everything.
Or it was like
besides
5
you.
hours.
Yeah.
We probably hit everything in the scientific.
We didn't. I don't
field.
think we missed anything.
We didn't miss a single thing.
I don't know. Like,
We were there
is
for
this like a
so
normal
goddamn
thing?
long.
Wes tapped out when Brendan said that
Oh, yeah.
you die when you sleep.
So I.
Yeah, no, I was like, fuck this.
We're
I'm
not
going to
talking
bed.
about this. We're not talking
So
about
no,
this.
I won't explain it. But basically, what happened is every time I like went over to a group and like it died down, and I was like, guys, I have a theory, and they're like, what? And I was like, every time you die, or every time you go to sleep, you die. And everyone like got up and walked away. I'm like,
Everybody-
And
Can I explain myself?
when you came
Can I
to my
explain
group,
myself?
when you came to my little huddle and said that, I went straight to my room and went to sleep.
No, because
That
he,
was the
he
end
brought
of
up
the
a good ass
fucking
point because he brought up Star
we
Trek.
won't.
and
I
then-
won't.
like,
explain
and then
it.
people left when he brought up Star Trek.
Because
too.
he-
I won't like bring it up because it takes so long to explain, and a lot of times people won't get anything out of it. But if you like
It's
look
bullshit.
into it, it's like actually profound and like kind of
Dude, I'm
interesting.
taking a philosophy
then,
of
yeah, you
dreams
say-
course and like
It's interesting.
you
Crazy.
say
You
dude,
say it's
gonna be
bullshit.
nuts.
Wes. You say it's
Oh, but I
bullshit.
can't prove.
But-
I can't prove it.
but then like
Wearing,
that's literally the whole point of philosophy is to just
wearing-
spit out.
Don't
philosophy.
answer that. Do not
Velocity.
answer that.
Khakis.
Did I say that?
And they
Oh, okay.
still wearing
Uh,
khakis.
I will find you, Dennis Lyons. I got your name.
He's one of my. So back home, there's a.
Yeah, what you talk about back home?
Yeah. So there's a group of 7 of us.
Mhm.
It's Duke, Jake, Dennis, Eric, me, my brother, and Jamie. We're the Booms.
okay.
And so like there's their cousin Brian is also like a boy, and then Brent, which is another friend of ours, is a boy. But like the 7 of us
What's that?
So,
are
yeah.
booms.
Bo-
Oh.
like boys.
Okay,
but-
People,
Alright,
yeah,
alright,
like so that's how we describe it. But like I like Duke,
Jesus.
Duke and Jake.
I was like,
people
did
say,
he-
"What is that?" You just repeat yourself. They're like, "Oh, okay."
I thought you had a small stroke.
Spell that.
It's
Oh,
not
piece
that
of
sweet.
paper.
It's not that sweet ass Batman shit. But anyway, so like they're
Hey, somebody give me some water.
so they're like Duke and Jake lived next door to me, and Dennis and Eric lived across the street from me,
Mhm.
and then Jamie lived up the street from me. And so I've known them like
Your whole
literally
life.
my entire life.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
And they're the bulls.
Home squad.
Home squad.
When we went to Myrtle Beach, we rented mopeds. So we were ped squad. We definitely had a uniform, which is this. I have it in my room. It's this Hawaiian shirt with like ukuleles and like flowers on it, and then a tank top with Waldo that says "Ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me."
Oh my god, fuck.
And so we were rolling around in these mopeds, right? And it was Mustang week, like all across America. So all these Mustangs are going down the strip of Myrtle Beach, just revving their engines, and here comes a group of 5 guys with their helmets on their mopeds, and everybody ate it up because we were basically making fun of everybody who was like honking. So we were like, "Yee!" But like the moped horde is like,
Right, it's just the most obnoxious little fucking thing. That's
yeah,
really
like,
fucking funny.
Do you have a personal experience? Ball so hard! But
I just got like that was kind of random laughter, but I just got the mental picture.
Sometimes-
It just killed me.
dude, sometimes people. Oh, there you go.
Colton-
Somebody brought me some water.
Colton came in clutch.
Colton came in.
Thank you.
But yeah, they're everything to me.
No.
You can't.
But anyway,
No.
Yeah.
philosophical ideas.
We can move on if you want
Well,
to.
I didn't get
Oh,
to
yeah.
say that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no one actually answered that question.
What was the question again?
Oh shit.
What idea or thought is blown your mind?
Oh.
So, do you have something now?
I do.
We gave you
All right.
lots of time to
Bring it.
think.
All right.
So, in my Asian philosophy class, the
Mhm.
first thing you have to learn about before you start learning about Buddhism,
Asian philosophy.
Asian philosophy, Buddhism, Confucianism, Hinduism, and Taoism.
Mhm.
Those are the 4 religions you go over. You have to learn about this idea of cultural paradigms. And so this is kind of a weird idea. Now, it's not something that it did blow my mind because it's a really cool concept. But essentially, the idea of a cultural paradigm is that how we understand reality from where we are, like in the West world, is fundamentally different to how people understand things in different parts of the world. And now these things like kind of vary, but like between those religions and like us, how we perceive things, like they're kind of small, but like they're so fundamental that they change literally like how we
do everything.
how we literally experience or like how we view to experience reality.
Is this
So like the first one is internal relatedness.
okay?
And so basically for us everything is externally related. So like nobody can see me on the chat, but like this table here is a table because its atoms are separate from like everything else in this room right now. But to a like Chinese like cultural paradigm or like a more Eastern cultural paradigm, they see things as like everything in this room encompasses the same volume instead of just immediately saying this is a separate object.
Okay.
Which is one thing. That's one thing that you have to like
Does that
think
like,
about because the reason you have to do this is because when you like read these like texts, if you read them and understand them in our paradigm, you are not going to understand what they actually mean.
because it's written for that other
For
paradigm.
how they understand it. It's not and
Wow.
like a cultural paradigm is not something you can choose because you've already grown up wherever you've been.
Right.
And so
Wow,
like another
that's
major
crazy.
difference is how we classify things as like what they are.
Mhm.
So like this bunch of atoms in this shape with this color is a table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So according to like an Eastern paradigm or like the Chinese paradigm, they classify things by what they do. So this chair is chairing right now. It does this chair that I'm sitting on does what a chair does. And like whatever it does, that's how they like view to classify it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like when we were going over some of the Chinese like the characters and stuff like that in that class, like you could tell that like the way if you translated it like directly, it seems like it's you classify things with the ing basically on it because like this window is windowing. Like I am a human but like I am human. I'm doing what a human
does. It's doing what a window does.
And so like the last one is that like we classify things as like either or, going into that like separate like idea that I went across first. Like everything is separate from one another.
Mm-hmm.
But like a lot of the time in like a Chinese paradigm, like when you're understanding these like religions and stuff like that, these ideologies, these philosophies, they see things as either like more of a and or both kind of thing. And this is so prevalent when you really start learning about stuff, because like those ideologies and philosophies are so, they're so like vastly different from like Christianity and like all this stuff. Like, so like for example, like we see things like, so if we like talk about Christianity, like heaven is a separate place. It is a separate entity, and so is God. Like where we are right now is not heaven, and where that is not here right now. But so like when you're talking about Taoism is doesn't really go out to explain to you like what everything is or like what the purpose of everything is. It more opens you up to the mystery of being. And so like the way like Taoism kind of goes is like you want to be like an old, like have you guys ever seen like an old growth forest? How like there's nothing out there, no one's touched anything, right? But it just exists and it's like beautiful.
Right.
Well, that's because it's just doing what it's supposed to do. It's nature, like
it's nature. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so like nature is like around us. It's in the world instead of some separate like entity or something like that. And like I could go into Taoism. I could get my notes and stuff, but that's the same with you're talking about like Buddhism or Hinduism. Like when you're talking about reincarnation, like you're always kind of coming back here, and like the goal is to not reincarnate essentially. And so that line between how we usually see whatever like a religion for like in terms of the afterlife is slowly like blurred. If that like or it's almost not even there. Like instead of seeing
it becomes similar, they have several parallels to each other. And
exactly. Like instead of like heaven and earth being like two separate like places, heaven and earth kind of like intertwine and like accompany like or like exist in the same space. Oh, that's Eric. He's Dennis's brother, and he just quoted nothing more. You gotta listen to them. You gotta listen to them. They're great. They are a heavier group, so if you are listening, be wary. If you're not into heavy rock, you probably won't like them, but they're amazing. They're great.
Does anyone else have a thought?
I guess.
I'll talk about. Okay, have you guys heard about the Big Freeze?
You probably.
Is that
so it's like, say the universe has only a limited amount of thermal energy, and thermal energy is produced
like
when particles are moving, right? So it's when all particles eventually have to stop and the universe just freezes.
Like right
where
it.
I can see that.
Right.
Like,
What?
just,
How?
So like right where it
How
is,
can you
like
see
right
that?
where it stands, everything just stops moving.
Apparently, yeah. That interested me.
I can't really comprehend that.
So
It's
like,
difficult to
okay,
so
comprehend.
like the universe only has a limited amount of thermal energy, which thermal energy is created by particles moving.
Right.
Okay, this is what the theory states. And so when all particles eventually stop moving,
But I thought energy couldn't be destroyed.
Yeah, what do you mean? How do they
Matter can't be
stop?
destroyed.
What stops
I don't
them?
know,
but that's
No.
thermal energy. Thermal energy.
Oh, it's
can
it's
decimate.
different. Okay,
Yeah.
I hadn't realized that. I don't really know a whole lot about that. So wow,
That
that's
sounds
really
So it interested
ridiculous to
me.
me.
So that's why I figured I would bring it up. So
No, that's
so
really-
you guys could try to prove it wrong.
That's.
No,
I mean, I
don't
can't
think
wrap my
that's-
head
I don't
around
have the
that.
scientific knowledge.
Yeah, I can't. I don't
Right,
think I
I
can
don't
wrap my
either,
head
but
around.
Philosophy is like also gives you the tools of like analytical thinking
Mhm.
and like logical like reasoning. So I mean like philosophy like getting a philosophy minor in anything could like help you out in general with how like you think about things and stuff like that. And so like that's like that's why everyone's like philosophers just like think about stuff. Well, it's like, well, yeah, they're
That's like what your life is.
yeah, that's what
is
your
thinking
life
about
is.
stuff.
But that's how it's so applicable. And like so many
Mhm.
like I'm planning to be a lawyer, and like if like I'm basically in the major that's like about logical thinking and stuff like that. Wait, we got something.
I think Dennis was
God
fucking
damn
with
it! I
us.
thought that was a legitimate comment.
I thought it was I thought it was too.
Shit. Damn you, Dennis Lyons.
We can move on because that's really difficult to wrap my brain
Right.
around.
Well, like I said,
I don't think I can wrap my brain around that. It's
not that I can't wrap my brain around
It's
it, but
too
like
far-
if I was
it's,
trying
like,
to, if I was
so
gonna prove
beyond.
it wrong, I'd have to know a lot
Yeah,
more
that's-
science.
yeah, I guess that's
is this
more
is
honest way to put it.
energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Is that a law or a theory?
I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure
I can
it's
look.
a law.
I mean,
With matter, it's a law, but I don't know if it's a law.
Because
with energy.
thermal energy, I don't know if that because that can decimate and I don't know if it can be destroyed in that sense. But thermal energy, if you heat up a pizza pocket,
Well, like energy,
that microwave,
energy transfer, it's technically still,
I just don't see how it would stop all of a sudden. Just hey, I want to stop. Yeah.
well, no, eventually, not all of a sudden.
Thank you, Eric.
It's a law.
Appreciate
It's a
that.
law.
It's a law.
The
Okay.
energy, kinetic energy. Wait.
So that may disprove it. But
no, energy. So I don't know.
energy, not
I don't
kinetic energy.
No, wait. Well, it's
Isn't that the same thing though?
for instance, chemical energy is converted to kinetic energy when a stick of dynamite explodes. So
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? We're talking about thermal energy.
I know. Well, thermal energy is a type of energy, so that's why.
So it
I
doesn't.
don't know, dude. I don't know.
It's not
It's just
regulated
too-
by that theory or that law.
Well, I mean, I assume it. I mean,
There's
it's
no
energy
way
is
that's a
energy.
thing.
It's
Is
hard.
anybody
to know.
in here like an actual like
No.
Oh, like what?
a
What?
science major?
I mean,
Oh, what are you?
I'm.
Biochemistry.
So I guess this does apply, huh?
Did that come up? Did that come up in your biochemistry class?
No, I just
Hell
thought-
no.
And I'm not even gonna say.
I guess. Well, I don't know. In terms of science, like I was talking to Wes that same night, and it's like that point that Neil deGrasse Tyson
Oh,
makes where he's like, so apparently, like the most like 4 common and reactive atoms in the universe are like hydrogen, oxygen,
Nitrogen.
carbon, and nitrogen.
no, wait. He knows.
The Nobel.
You want to say it?
want me to quote this right now?
Jalen-
I don't know if I can.
Jalen Goff is about to give you
No.
the most astounding fact.
No, I'm not.
Dude, that video is awesome.
Okay, here we
That
go.
whole spiel.
The
There we
knowledge that comprise the atoms and life on Earth are traceable to the crucibles that cooked light elements into heavy elements within their core. These stars, the high mass ones among them, when unstable in their later years, collapsed and exploded, scattering their enriched guts across the universe. These guts containing oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and all the fundamental ingredients of life. That's all I'm saying.
What the fuck was that?
And then
He
those
just like
ingredients,
turns on a switch.
pretty
and
much
just-
Keep going.
those ingredients later form gas clouds that then condense and form the next generation of solar systems. So it may not be that we are in this universe. It may be that the universe is within us.
See, me and Hunter like went on a
I love
conversation
that. I
about that
love
exact
that
same thing. We
idea,
just didn't
though.
say it verbatim because we haven't.
That video
studied it as
is
much
great.
as
That's
you
great.
clearly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That idea is so like, it makes you feel so
I know.
good. Like
it,
you're
it
like,
gives us. It kind of gives us a reason.
You're making Duke Greco rethink his life.
Duke's a good friend.
But I mean, a human that lives on Earth and looks up to the sky and thinks, "Wow, I'm small." It kind of it could give that person a different perspective. The atoms that
Well,
make
that's-
up your
yeah.
body could be traceable to a star that was once millions of light years away. You never know that.
Okay, so the first Nothing More album has like
Here we
album.
go.
No.
I
But
like
it is
that.
legitimately related to this topic.
Okay.
He has a
I'm kidding.
like, dude. They use
I'm
Alan
kidding.
Watts like monologues in there, and he says like, "You are this like same thing. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something the whole ocean is doing."
Exactly.
And it's like
That's
they
great.
use that in their songs. It's amazing.
What did he say?
It's the greater
That mean
it's
what?
the greater picture.
Say the thing about the waves again.
So you are something the whole universe is doing, like Jalen just mentioned, like just when he just quoted Neil deGrasse Tyson and how Neil deGrasse Tyson says like the universe is within us because those atoms spread from like
Stars
and like
thousands of light years away.
yeah. So you are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that
You are
a wave is something the whole ocean is doing.
Makes complete sense.
Okay, yeah, I guess what you're saying. But
Oh,
fuck, that
yeah, no,
seems
It's
bizarre.
Listen to nothing more.
See, the thing is,
I actually might.
What am I
Yeah,
supposed to
you
do
do
with
when you
that?
talk about it.
I probably will
Information.
Me and
know.
Jalen, we need to listen to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Like if you ever go on like a long drive, just like
Oh, there we go.
put it on
Long
full
drive.
blast. Dude, there are
Y'all
some
are 40 minutes
songs.
away.
There are some songs that like they have the saddest song I've ever heard. It's the cap off, like it's the song right before the last song on their self-titled album. It's called God Went North, and it's about his mom dying of cancer.
Mhm.
And like the lyrics, just everything about that song. Like if you're driving, it'll hit you and you'll be like,
You like a
it's
drug.
magical. It's great.
Is that one of those songs that'll give you goosebumps?
I get goosebumps from that song every time.
There's one song called.
if I'm
Hunter
not
gets those
screaming
goosebumps every
lyrics,
time.
like
There's one song called "Hate Me" by Blow October, and that gives me
Yeah,
goosebumps.
Whiskey Lullaby is what you meant. Okay, next question.
oh here wait
Next
wait
question.
Dennis did leave something about how the universe is in a giant pulse right now.
Oh,
It's
and
pulsing
sorry,
out.
it's inward.
Yeah,
So, like-
I've heard that
Oh,
one
yeah,
before.
Yeah, so like I'm it's the Big Bang, like
How
all
everything
that
is
energy.
expanding.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the repercussion.
yeah.
Like,
So-
is
so
it-
it's like
how
a-
it's explained. It's like
I
Something
thought of it as
that.
like a yo-yo. You roll it out and then it stops and comes back.
Dude, yeah.
that's kind of fucking terrifying.
Yeah, but
But if you think
It's
about
so
it,
long.
It's gonna take
Oh, yeah, no,
no,
yeah.
It's so long. It's not
Billions
even
of
relevant.
It's not like all of a
to
sudden
be
everyone's
So,
gonna start
so,
like,
so literally not relevant to
It's not
us,
relevant
our
to
grandchildren,
anything.
our great
No,
grandchildren,
it's-
or anything.
Yeah.
no, it's gonna take billions of years. Because
Exactly.
however long the hell
Billions
it takes,
is an understatement.
yeah,
Exactly.
because
No, yeah.
however
Absolutely.
long it
Wait,
takes to get
so
out
wait,
there, it's got to come
so-
all the way
yeah.
back in.
But just how violent the Big Bang, you know how violent the Big Bang was. We don't know, but we have an idea of how
Well,
violent it had
violent
to
is once again an
be.
understatement.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Dude, there's not words to say
There's-
it.
yeah, there is
You
no
want to know
word.
what's a
Okay,
weird
so
thing?
like, go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead.
a weird thing
Black
I heard-
Jalen.
But a weird thing I heard about the Big Bang is
Yeah.
that like if it like everything was condensed to one and then exploded, how come the distance between everything is so off? Like you think if it was the same force, you spread out everything out with the same.
We don't know
force.
where the center began.
yeah. We don't know where
If
the
you're
center
saying
of the
that everything
universe
is,
Yeah,
is
it's
off.
just like there was one point and then
Right.
bang.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Honestly,
Big Bang, yeah.
So
Have
like,
you ever
let's
played
say
No
we're
Man's
all
Sky?
let's say we're all wrapped around like a
Dude.
grenade or something.
Dude, that
We're all
game
gonna
pisses
get
me
blown
the
back.
fuck
If we're all
off.
the exact same difference
Okay.
of or distance
Yeah.
around the grenade,
But-
we're all gonna get blown back.
Yeah, but what if I'm heavier than you and you blow back farther?
But like, how is that a thing in space?
Weight, gravity.
How is that a thing in space?
What do you mean?
Well-
How is gravity a thing in space? If something has a certain amount of mass,
Yeah.
then something
But, like,
else that is lighter.
you're
is
not-
Are you
going to
referring?
then
Are you
pull-
trying to talk about friction? Because there's no friction in space. Well,
No, that's not.
technically there
Hold on,
is.
let Jalen.
Well,
Jalen.
I don't
Just
think you're getting.
go ahead.
That, I was just using that grenade thing as an example.
Okay.
Everything was like it was.
I see what you're
in an
asking.
infinitely small point.
Yes.
Yes, and
And
then
it blew.
instantaneously.
Blue.
Yes.
Yeah, it was at the same time present as it was exploding. It was never sitting still. A mass and that quantity could not be dormant for any longer than immediately. So it was then put into existence and immediately exploded at the exact same time, then creating.
Thus creating
It's-
all
yeah,
our
so
universe
yes.
stuff.
Eventually.
God damn it, dude.
So think of it like this: you have a handful of rocks, right? And that represents the Big Bang, and all of the matter, the rocks inside of your hand, is everything, all the matter that was inside of the God particles.
Okay,
they call
yeah,
them.
but
okay,
it's
now
still-
and then you drop everything out of your hand, hence the explosion, right? The rocks hit the ground, which is representing the explosion, and they scatter, right?
Okay.
Now take the biggest rock that is around, all the little rocks that are around the biggest rock, say, put them together, and then go to the next biggest rock, and every rock in a distance around that rock that is smaller than it, put it together, and you do that, and then those are the galaxies that are within our universe.
I get that.
Yeah, hard
Because
time.
they
Well,
I feel like-
I know what he's
Are
saying.
you sure you
I
did
just,
that? 'Cause it
I
sounds
just,
like
I
you're
feel
trying to
kinda
like
missed
take a
my
really
point.
big dump. Like,
Anytime Jalen gives you something, you're like, damn it! Like,
No, because like I was just saying like it was all
Jalen's
so
gonna start-
tight.
Jalen on the right is gonna start crying because of what Jalen on the left
It was
instead.
so like condensed.
Yeah,
And
and
when it
infinitely
really
small
how
portion.
did everything end up so like
Okay, you
No,
guys
no,
can talk
no,
about this
no,
later.
yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
think of that
god.
we're on this all fucking night.
Yeah, you
But-
guys will literally talk about this
but-
forever.
but-
That's,
that's not.
So speaking of the comments here,
Well, bring Josh in here. Josh is always right. Josh is never
Eric,
fucking wrong.
Eric is talking about the Pyre speech. The last song on the Nothing More self-titled album is called Pyre, and the speech he's talking about in there is like that Alan Watts speech where he like talks about all that stuff. So like if you all were
Okay.
gonna listen, like that last song is a long time, but it's like a whole monologue, and they like do like really cool like audio effects and like choruses over it,
Okay.
and that's really cool. And then it's fucking Friction.
Let me
That's
while
definitely
we're
a
kind
card.
of in a low right
Friction
now,
is definitely a card in Cards Against Humanity.
while we're in a
It's the
low,
worst card.
let me give a plug to my buddy Mick White. He's got
He's right out
a
here.
he's got a really kick-ass YouTube channel. You guys should check out. It's
should-
got vlogs from our flag football team, and he's also got a bunch of content from his high school teams. And it's Mick's a very talented video editor, and I think you guys would definitely enjoy those videos. So please check him out.
it should be the first link in the description. If it's not there now, it'll be there at the end. Yeah. So check that out for sure. He's like super talented. So like definitely check it out. Everyone that watched it looked really
Yeah, totally. Well, the Jalen's are
They're-
still
they're
like
still
whispering,
talking
like,
about it.
I'm trying to, see, I'm trying to
You guys
explain
can
what
explain it later.
that, yeah, we'll explain it later.
All right, what's the next
Um,
question we got for you, Hunter?
The next thing is your choice, and I think I know the answer. We either talk about superheroes,
Oh god.
or we
no.
can talk about the hurricanes.
Well,
No, let's talk about the hurricanes because like
Okay.
I think what crap we were just talking about. Okay, so I was gonna ask because we were talking about like the inevitable cold death of the universe and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like I was gonna ask like wasn't the sun exploding like the most recent thing that could happen? That's still millions of years. And then in my head I was like, no, we're gonna fuck up the world because we treat it like shit.
Yeah.
And then that was gonna segue us into me talking about how Mother Nature is conspiring against man right now with like all these hurricanes going on in the Gulf and like the Atlantic. We have like stuff on fire in the West, like everywhere with the forest fires. And then we just had the earthquake today in Mexico City.
7.1.
Oh, I saw that video of that freaking building collapse.
Yeah.
7.1 magnitude.
Mother Nature is like
Holy shit.
trying. It's like really. It's gunning. My friend, he's like he's religious, but he was talking about how like.
Oh no, the end times.
Well, yeah, he was talking about how like apparently in like one of like the kind of prophecy type things is like literally what's happening like
Yeah.
today. Like he's like apparently there's like a big hurricanes, there's an eclipse, like, and I was like,
Yeah.
what did we fuck up?
Maybe, I mean, I
feel like-
I can name a couple things actually, but I'm not going to.
There's quite a few.
Alright, fuck it, I'm skipping class.
Please don't. I'm your
No,
CEO.
no,
I'm here to support you.
Was that meant to piss you off? Right there?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah,
I'm gonna
crazy stuff has been going on.
I'll
in the
pull up
world.
on the screen here what we got.
Oh, you got like it all.
So yeah, it's a little graphic.
Yeah, Martha's about to make landfall too.
So,
There's another
we
hurricane.
got-
Maria.
so
We got a
the
couple
world's
things
destroying itself.
brewing, if you will.
Brewing.
Puerto Rico is about to get like I was
Yeah.
reading because I was reading on my Flipboard app today on my phone that apparently Puerto Rico is like in not a good place about to be hit by Maria.
Most of the the thing is like when it happens to the United States, well, yeah, it's awful. Like
Yeah.
it's a terrible thing, like loss of life, everything. Like, but we have money to deal with it, so it's almost
Or
like
do we? Well,
I mean,
we won't get to that.
you know what I mean. Though. Like we have support, so like
Yeah.
it's almost better that it hits us than other places, or it's better that it hits a wealthy
Yeah, well,
country.
I mean,
I guess
yeah.
not us
It's
necessarily,
still like
but
yeah. If we
you
have
guys-
any like listeners who are like.
so like
I don't think we have listeners like who are in those areas or anything. But
Mhm.
if you're listening and you know people / have family, because I know some people who lived in like the Houston area when what one was it? What what was the first hurricane?
Houston?
That really
Harvey.
hit. Harvey. So like, yeah, if you're listening, like, you know, people like in those situations, why are you laughing? We're talking about hurricanes,
No.
like.
You said Harvey, and it just made me West think when he said Gert. The hurricane named Gert.
Imagine you spend all your time being a tropical storm, you finally become a hurricane, and these people name you Gert.
I don't think that make it any less worse than it being an actual. But yeah, if you're
Well, I'm
listening,
not gonna be as scared if they're like, Hurricane Gert is about to.
well, that's what happened with Hurricane Harvey because a lot of people didn't prepare for it, and then like right before it was gonna make landfall, it just built up and became like a Category 4, I think. So if you know anybody like in those areas, like, heart's going out to y'all.
As I was saying though, like, it's almost better that it hits a rich country because then it hits like there were I can't even remember the fucking islands that,
But
it hit these islands and like they could. What did they do? They didn't have any money.
yeah, they're
like-
done with.
Like we're helping ourselves over here, so like we're not gonna help them. Like so, like what do you do if you're on like one of those islands? You're fucked.
We're already
I'm sure we try.
bad,
Yeah,
too,
but like,
I mean.
but like it's just so.
Swim. Take swim classes.
It's just hard to think about that. Like
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
it's just hard to think about that. Like the Earth literally could just destroy us whenever. Just
That's
whenever.
true.
Just whenever.
But
Or
about
fucking
the
freeze
rich
it.
and poor countries, just for a second, don't assume that I'm an asshole because I'm going to say something that an asshole would right off the bat, just
Am
to
I-
get your guys' opinion.
Am I gonna
Okay.
bash this mug over
Okay,
your head, Jalen?
So, do you
Like
think
China's back.
immigration is okay? And
Dude,
if
wait.
I think we should
Immigration?
avoid politics.
Yeah, we're not gonna
do
do that.
I feel like we're a philosophical
We'll do it later.
all right,
We'll
slash
talk about it later.
slash like laid back type of show because politics is where you get to the I'm gonna rip out your jugular if you don't believe like
If you really
I
do-
don't take up a political position.
Mhm.
I was just gonna get your guys' viewpoints and then state something, but
That'll
I don't
probably just.
It's-
That'll
yeah, I feel
probably
like-
just
I feel
end
like we
for it.
I don't want to.
Maybe
I
we can do that
appreciate-
some
I
other
appreciate
time.
how you
We could do that
answer
some other time. I'll like
maybe
moderate
if this
something.
maybe if this evolves into like a
I'll moderate
maybe
one
like a
later.
That's
different-
what's
different
not
type
gonna
of show.
happen.
But there's too many
I will
people
make
here.
sure of it.
Alright.
I later. I promise.
understandable.
Okay.
Understandable.
If you're leaving comments, I'm so sorry. We're looking at the
I
Yeah,
just
we're
bought
looking
some
at a
new
graphic.
Yeezys.
I-
Trying to
so
go
we're looking, we're looking
down
at
the nearest
Comments.
boulevard.
Here we are.
There it is. Sorry about that. I totally forgot. that they were coming, so.
Okay, so now I guess
Where's
it's on
Harvey
to-
Dent? Hunter, where's Harvey Dent?
It's because we mentioned Hurricane Harvey.
God damn it.
Or Steve Harvey.
So I guess now it's on to freaking.
Yeah, you want to do
superheroes.
superheroes now?
Now here's where
Oh,
Hunter
so
thrives.
we were talking
Alright,
about
so
movies
what-
earlier.
What we're gonna
I want to give a huge shout out to Hunter for letting me know that they're making a Shazam movie because Shazam's my favorite.
Dude, that's actually supposed to start filming in 2018.
fat bet.
That is a
Batman.
fat bet.
Yeah.
Oh, great bet. That means you're not going to see it till 2020.
I don't care. At least it's coming out.
Sure.
Jack, what do you agree with Brendan about?
I think he's just joking.
Um,
He actually worked for. He interned at Tesla. He's like
Oh,
a really
really?
smart dude. Yeah. He's crazy. I love Jack.
Mhm.
He's 3 years older than me, but we met him because like he lives in my neighborhood, and it was like him, my brother, and then my next door neighbor, and that was like it. That was like our group, and then there's like one other guy, but that was our group. And
So
even
this
though like we
isn't-
lived
this
in
isn't roommate Jack.
no, he's from Illinois.
Okay.
Not roommate Jack.
So yeah,
Not 3 years old.
That's actually pretty cool though.
yeah. That's just.
You said yeah.
I could go on forever about Jack. I won't bore you guys though.
No, I wouldn't mind hearing some stuff about Tesla for sure, but we can get into
He
that
would
later.
always send me pictures. He's like just another day at the office, and he's just like sitting next to a Tesla. And I'm just like, okay, I'm literally working at Jimmy John's. This guy's working at Tesla.
So, the whole thing with superheroes,
Alright.
I love superhero shit. I watch like all the shows, movies, stuff like that, and I've been getting into reading comics the last couple of years. Fun fact: comics are expensive,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a little hard to get into when like regardless of the fact that there's so much stuff to read, but you really just gotta choose like a story and be like, let's read this, you know, like, or like a certain continuity of like a character, and then you just stay with that. But they are expensive, so it's something I don't really get to spend money a lot on, but I talk to people who know more than I do, and so I figure out a lot of stuff and know a lot of stuff. But personal favorite stories of mine to read are Superior Spider-Man. That is a great story that I'm actually almost done with that one. The New 52 run of Batman is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nightfall is another Batman story I read. That's the one where Bane breaks his back. And then Azrael takes over the mantle, and then they have a dude. That's a badass.
So,
thing.
are you more of a Marvel or a DC guy?
I'm kind of both.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that.
So
It's hard to choose between them.
the reason I'm
because-
kind of both is because like I grew up with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was my dude.
Yeah.
And so like that's something I like grew up on essentially. But I think as I've gotten older, I've been learning more about Marvel. I mean DC. So like kind of like two different parts of my life. And then like as of right now, everything's awesome. Like
Yeah,
DC's having their own movie universe kicked off. They kill it on TV.
they really do.
Marvel
They
already
really do.
has their movie stuff kicked off, and they also kill it on TV. So
I do agree
Me
with
too.
Dennis on that actually.
worlds away.
YouTube Jew haters.
But yeah, that's like my kind of knowledge. So I'm not like all knowing,
Mhm.
but I do know it, I think, an all right amount. I don't. I wouldn't say I know a lot.
So real quick, favorite superhero or supervillain, and why? One sentence why.
Oh,
starting
Jesus, you
starting
can't-
with Wesley.
Well, you already know.
Yeah, but why? You have to state it.
Okay. Well, you know my favorite hero is Shazam.
Shazam! Shazam!
And it's exactly like that's almost exactly why is because Shazam is a freaking. For those of you who don't know, and a lot of people probably don't, Brennan's pulling it up right now. Shazam actually started out as a kid that found this extraordinary power, and wow, he has amazing
He
stuff.
has a Shazam
Got some
versus
power
Goku
stats up
stats.
here. I'll just read off the
Shazam
power.
versus Goku, my wow.
Let that marinate for a second and
Yeah.
like articulate yourself. I'm just gonna read off the power stats for Shazam. Intelligence 90 out of 100, strength 100 out of 100, speed 90 out of 100, durability 95 out of 100, power 100 out of 100, and combat 75 out of 100.
So what website is this?
This
What is
is superherob.com.
DB.com.
Oh,
Database.
Yeah,
Database. There we go.
Goku.
Anyway, and
Goku.
he finds this extraordinary power. I'm not gonna spoil how he finds it or any of that stuff, but
Goku would win.
shut your whore mouth for like 5 seconds while I explain myself so we can get on with this freaking discussion. And he can just say Shazam, and he turns into this demigod, full-grown man that has this extraordinary power. And I think he could kick Superman's ass, personally.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's done it once.
He probably has.
And
Well,
I'm
there
sure
is
one
a
of
there is
the
a thing where he
books
helps
he has.
Superman hold the book of infinite pages. He had Shazam's help in that.
Yeah,
So some people say that Shazam can also hold infinity.
yeah.
So some people be arguing that.
Well, with the combined strength of, dude, come on. With
What is
the-
Shazam's
his strength?
pretty
Was that 100? Was it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is completely correct, but
yeah.
Yeah, we're just.
This
basics.
might be
Yeah.
wrong, but and who knows how they even do those stats? But this is what the website says. So
We'll get to that, Dennis.
Oh, we'll get-
I promise.
we'll get
I
to
just love
that.
the whole like. If you read the first comic, I read like a kind of it's kind of like a manga, but like for comics, I guess. I don't know, but if you just read, it's kind of interesting how like Black Adam and Shazam kind of low key they feed off of each other, kind of. But I just think
Well, don't they draw from the same power
they
source?
do. They
essentially?
draw from the same power source exactly. But Black Adam is ancient, and Shazam is like
A kid.
just found this power
Yeah.
as like an 11-year-old kid.
Wasn't also when he becomes Shazam, isn't that also sort of like a different personality in it? Well, like it's like Billy Batson, but there's also like Shazam is also kind of
Yeah, Shazam.
in a sense he's still Billy Batson.
the
But
power-
Shazam himself is still
Right. Yeah, the power that makes him Shazam has kind of its own
Its own-
personality.
yeah,
it
its own
directly
persona, that's what I
influences how he thinks, for
Cool.
sure.
And it's cool how Black Adam says Shazam, and hey, that's like an ability of his too.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's exactly what Hunter says
Yeah.
because they draw from the same ancient power source.
Dude, you're gonna have to go to everybody else before I answer this question.
Yeah,
Okay,
This
and
is
also
impossible.
for that power source,
This
to
is
draw that power
impossible.
source. So like in the TV show The Flash, you know how the Speed Force
Yeah.
has like an entity talking from it to Barry.
Mhm.
So like would that hint at the Speed Force being like almost like a being, like it has, and so in that
I'm
case
not.
so in that case, would the power source that Shazam and Black Adam draw from be the same as the Speed Force?
Wait,
It being like an entity?
I thought the Speed Force was a group of speedsters. No, no. Like that. Like they're like.
Well, the
Passed
Flash
away, I
its
guess.
speed gets his speed from the Speed Force. So like, how could he have? How could Speed
Yeah,
Force
I-
have
okay.
created it if
I don't know.
it
Maybe I just don't
created
remember it
Flash?
correctly.
Oh, the Tick. Have you guys watched that?
The Tick. I've seen that.
Somebody commented that
Yeah.
my friend Eric actually commented that his favorite superhero is the Tick. That's a new show on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard about that.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah. Shazam though. Shazam kicks ass.
Shazam.
But if the power source that he drew from was an entity, it would kick Shazam's ass. Just saying.
Speed Force.
Yeah, I mean it would kick everything's ass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except for
So like, how?
I'm
No.
not sure if it's like
Why do you think
It's- I
Goku
think
is
it's-
like
I think
God?
it's
I don't
Because
understand.
he is
Okay, well if we're gonna go there, I'll
I
just bring
don't
up
think it's
Saitama, and
entirely,
Saitama will
like,
shit on
self-
everything,
Yeah.
literally everything.
All right.
it's quasi.
How exactly? How's it debatable? I'm not sure how you think that's a thing because it's not. It's definitely not.
It
Goku would
definitely
get
is.
shit on by Saitama.
All right, let's
Let's just you know what, go around. Brennan, tell us about
Yeah, no,
pull it up.
We
Pull it up.
we gotta go over.
We're going
Oh, yeah,
to the
Hunter,
heroes
yeah,
right now. We're
we-
not
I
talking
can't-
about
I
fucking
can't.
anime.
Did you say the Flash?
No, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to answer that question.
But yeah, mine would be Flash.
Would
He's
be
pretty
Flash.
fucking dope.
Because it's
Yeah.
Flash, so
I like-
that's my reasoning. So go
I
on.
would like to bring up the Flash. Hunter here plays a game called Injustice,
Just
and I watched him play as the Flash, and it was the dopest thing I've ever seen. Because there's like if you pull off a combo, you can do like a thing, and he like
when you
slows
activate
down
the,
time,
you activate the
and then you
Speed
can
Force.
just beat the shit out of the dude.
Yeah.
And if you ult a dude, you create an infinite time loop. Where it's
Yes.
gonna be
Yeah,
infinite
yeah,
speed.
that's-
So that's badass.
You bring him around the world and he like hits himself.
He goes back in time
Yeah.
and throws it against himself. So while he's so what he does is he basically grabs you and he spins you, right? And so while you're spinning, that's when the first one comes back and smacks you against the other, and then he takes you back in. So it just creates
It's an endless time loop.
God.
Crazy.
Friggin' insane.
Oh no, fucking Jake, dude.
Ben 10.
Yeah,
Fuck,
we're
we're
not
not
talking
Fuck
about
yeah,
Jake, you can go fuck yourself.
That's just gonna piss me
We're
off.
not going to talk about Ben.
Ban him from the comments just because of that.
No, don't ban
You
him
really
on the
don't put the
comments.
He was born into it.
Yeah, we're not talking about Ben 10 though. 'cause
Yeah.
that's
God,
just
that
like,
pissed me off so
Yeah, the
much.
Flash is
Here
dope though. The Flash is so awesome.
Okay, Dennis asked who would win in a fight, Thor or Superman, and I'm totally taking Thor on that.
Okay,
I'm
you're
totally-
retarded.
Wait, Superman?
Superman
Oh, I
versus
You're
Thor.
retarded.
I'm
Because
taking
nobody,
Thor.
literally nobody can.
I mean,
beat
you are
physical combat
for thinking that.
It's- it's-
So
Shut the fuck up.
I
it's,
think
you
I'm
can't
taking
beat.
Thor. I'm taking Thor.
Because it.
You can't beat Superman, a man with no limits at all.
You can though. Like
You
that's the
definitely
thing.
can.
Okay, well, okay.
If you kill him, you can kill him with like kryptonite. Like that's
Exactly.
He dies from a fucking
There is a
rock.
comment.
Yeah.
There is a
It's
Okay,
like-
no,
it's
no,
a
oh,
thing
dude,
you
I
can
just got an
do.
amazing idea. Okay, they need to make a fucking movie about this. Oh my god. Okay, Thor needs to reforge Mjolnir and make it out of kryptonite.
That would be not fair at all. That would.
He would
also-
destroy exactly. He
It'd
would
be a
fucking
5-minute.
destroy
It'd be a
him.
5-minute movie.
Yeah, because he would
okay. Let's slow down. Let's slow down here. So even though, like, if we're talking about like overall, like, yeah, he's weakened by kryptonite, but that doesn't stop Superman from like powering through the effects
Right.
of kryptonite
True.
before.
True
that's
that.
true, but
I will agree with that.
But it
but
does
to
make
be
him a
fair,
much weaker.
the times that he's I'm
And
thinking
if
of,
if you want to like start that argument, which I'm just gonna end it now, where he can't pick up the hammer,
God,
he's
boss.
definitely picked
Yeah.
up the hammer before.
he can pick up the hammer.
There's definitely
sure.
a part, like a comic crossover they have with Marvel and DC, and there's one shot of Superman with his laser vision going, and he has Captain America's shield in the one hand and Thor's hammer in the other.
Get
and
the
it's-
fuck out of here,
Who?
dude. That's like a
Superman.
fucking. That's like a
What the
fan
hell?
fiction.
Well,
type
no.
shit,
Universe.
Yeah, no, I bet he. I mean, I'm sure he could.
Superman
because
is worthy to pick up a human.
No,
man.
also-
like, let's be real.
dude. No, he's not.
Also, Captain
Yes, he
America
is.
made it.
Dude,
What the fuck?
Superman is not a Norse god.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Mjolnir doesn't like abide by like a god has to pick it up. It's whoever's worthy picks it
I
up.
don't.
Yeah, who's the
I-
Superman is the literal superhero to start all superheroes.
He's the
He's gonna be able
embodiment
to
of a
fucking pick it up.
superhero.
That's
He's-
true. Because
he's
I guess
the
at
embodiment
one
of, like-
point Thor isn't even worthy to pick it up in that movie. They kind of like take his privileges away. And he has
Even
to, like,
not. Remember in the Avengers when Hulk was trying to pick up Mjolnir and he was like crushing the airplane? Remember that?
I didn't watch
he was
that, I
Like,
don't
yeah,
think.
like if he could have gone further, he would have picked the hammer up along with a piece of the airplane.
Yeah.
So he could have, in a sense, held the hammer, but there would have been a huge chunk of airplane at the end of it.
Yeah, what's to stop the Hulk from literally just like picking up the hammer, but like having the entire Earth attached to it?
Exactly.
Because like the Hulk could. The
Well,
Hulk
the Hulk
can.
has held up a mountain range.
The
before. I
whole
mean,
no,
he's fucking-
I'm pretty sure the Hulk can actually hold up the Earth.
I swear to God.
I'm pretty sure.
I
he
read
can.
Hulk
Planets.
comments. He didn't do new shit like that.
I don't think that. I don't think that's.
Hulk, no, Hulk.
thing.
Hulk will.
I mean,
Theoretically, he could. I don't think he's ever done it. But
Yeah.
like, the angrier you get Hulk,
Yeah,
the stronger and like more like rage.
Well,
he
it doesn't
gets.
really work like that because the Earth is definitely holding.
well,
Hulk.
obviously, but we're talking
The
about.
Earth
comics.
is holding Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what if he was
Yeah.
what if he was on the moon, like pushing the Earth or some shit? Like he just pushed them apart from each other.
Dude, I can do a handstand right now and say I'm
Superman
holding the Earth above my
can't-
head. Like it's
Superman-
No, he pushed Earth and the moon at the same time. So like he pushed them away from
That's
each other.
no.
I don't know. It's
That's
too hard
not
to
in
think.
any comic.
Whatever.
when I do
movie,
push-ups, I push the Earth down.
Superman in a comic pulled the galaxy on his back.
Whoever just said the Earth is
So,
flat, you can get out.
Thor
right
can
now.
eat a
I don't even
dog.
care. I don't even care.
Oh, God damn it! That's box.
Why is it when I pour water on this bowl, it just rolls off? It just rolls off. Whenever I pour it on this plate, it stays on. The Earth is flat. The Earth's flat, dude. The Earth's flat. Are all the other planets flat too? Riddle me that. Riddle me that, guy.
We're not starting that conversation.
Glass.
Oh shit. Can Magneto pick up Thor's hammer? Yes.
My boy Sam the Clutch Man with a good question there. That's a fan fiction.
That's actually a really good fucking question. I've never
No,
even
no,
thought
no,
of
look,
that.
look.
Can Thor? I mean, no. Can Magneto pick up Thor's hammer? It is metal. Well, is it metal?
I don't believe it.
We don't know if it's
It's
metal.
real.
formed
You
from
don't
a
know.
dying star.
So the answer is no,
Believe it,
because we don't know if it's metal. So therefore, that question cannot be answered.
I'm
Look,
pretty sure
look
it is
up what
metal.
Thor's hammer's
It's
about.
95%.
Thor's hammer's metal? You're
No, we don't know. We're looking it
I
up
don't
right now.
fucking know.
What
find
is
out.
Thor's hammer made of?
Can Magneto? That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I can't believe I've never thought
Wait.
of that.
But it has a mystical bind to it, so
Asgardian metal.
no. But it has a mystical bind to it. So if he's
Exactly.
not worthy, he's not gonna have the force to pick it up with his metal power.
I guess picking it up, like, still.
You know? Because Magneto's force is the same as, say, like Hulk's brute strength. So if Hulk tries to pick it up, he can't. And if Magneto tries to lift it with his power, he can't because still the mystical bind is still held to the hammer.
You know, that actually is something that disappoints me about Marvel, especially with the movies because of the contract thing. They can't mix the X-Men and the Avengers. They can't mix it only because of like an actual contract.
Well,
With
do you know
Disney,
why- do you know-
Disney owns what?
Do you know why that
X
happened?
Men. They own X Men.
Disney owns the X-Men, and then
Sony
owns
owns
Avengers.
Spider-Man, and like his characters essentially.
Yeah,
His
like,
whole,
garbage.
his
It's
whole
so gay.
Rogues roster, and then X-Men. I mean, X-Men is owned by Fox, and so is Deadpool.
That's
and
what
stuff.
sucks. Like they say that in the Avengers, they can't even like say the word mutant, or else they can sue them. For
That's why
it,
they have
which
the.
is
That's why they have the
retarded.
Inhumans show. Which, if you've seen the Inhumans show in the comments, you should say how it is because I hear it's really bad, but I don't know. But anyway, do you know why that is? Like why all the contracts are split up like that?
I
Like,
my
late-
dad explained it to me.
Late
well.
'80s, like or '90s or so, I think. Around, I don't really know, but like I don't know the exact year. But Marvel was definitely about to go bankrupt. And so the only way they stayed afloat was by selling the rights to their characters to movie license.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, well, we need to
That
keep going
was
around the
it.
table with this. So, Brendan,
Yeah.
tell me.
Okay. Mine's Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah. Obviously, he's
That's
not.
solid.
Obviously,
Solid.
he's not the strongest, and that's not what I'm going for.
That's not.
He's definitely the fucking
Yeah, I
funniest,
know.
though.
He's the funniest.
Definitely the funniest.
In my head, he's like the Lil Dicky of superheroes. So he just does it a different way, and I can respect that.
It's true. Plus, he had a
He
badass
kind of
movie.
is.
He had a
I'm
badass
mad at
movie.
that. The fuck you mean you want to do the whole thing different?
Yeah, these. By the way, Wes and Jalen last night, I was sitting in their room, and they literally just started singing all of Professional Rapper.
Back and forth. I was Snoop
Like-
Dogg and he was Lil Dicky.
And
It
if
was
you guys
badass.
don't know, like that is literally that song is so hard to like actually learn because it's not like a regular song. It's like a conversation. So it's like trying to memorize a conversation, and that's not an easy thing to do. And these two just like they did it so damn well. It
It was
was
pretty
really
impressive.
it's really
I
impressive.
kind of impressed myself. Not gonna
Well,
lie.
you should put a show out there.
I'm never impressed.
Did everyone get their superhero?
Or
did you? Did you?
No, you didn't.
You
You
didn't
didn't
say.
go.
You said
So we're talking just Marvel, DC.
Anything?
Anything.
Anything.
It literally doesn't matter.
Anything.
No, you can't go anime. Don't try.
No
it.
anime. Yeah.
Okay,
Don't go anime.
So I would have to.
I mean, it has to be comics. Like if you were to say Kick-Ass because he's in Image Comics, you can do that too.
Let's see here. So we're talking superheroes. I think I would have to go some. First of all, I like the Marvel universe only because they have like so many characters. DC has a lot too, but you get characters like you have the Avengers and you have the Defenders. You know, everybody has backstories and whatnot. Yeah, I would actually have to say my favorite superhero would be Daredevil. Just
No shit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
just the not his like just his powers in general being blind and
Just
not a
his
superhero.
character.
His character, the way he goes about himself, the way he goes to church and then asks for penance before he goes and
Dude,
kicks ass.
It's
just so dope to
The
me.
theme, like that's like when I mentioned Daredevil the show earlier. They nail that. Like
Yeah.
the whole, the core of that show is like this man, Matt Murdock, like having trouble being a lawyer, a Catholic, and trying to help his city all at the same time. And those like coexisting like ideas that he has for what he wants out of life and what he wants for the world, like just clash.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what makes that like that entire show like
Yeah.
amazing and something I want to read more. They're like those are the next comics I will buy because
Yeah.
of that show after.
And you
Fake
said
comics.
about the comics being really expensive. They're actually obviously it's cool to have a hard copy of a comic. 'Cause you
Yeah.
can say, "Hey, I have this.
Yeah.
You want to read this?" But you can also go online and literally read any of those comics.
Yeah.
I know
It's
you
not
probably
the
not.
same.
It's not as satisfying. I understand that,
Definitely.
but I've read a lot
I
of
know
comics
they have like
online and
services
whatnot.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know.
No,
It's
I'm
just
saying-
like one of the mini pastime things. I
Yeah,
do. So
yeah.
I mean like.
All right, let's go to you.
You're
No, I
just
said
sad.
Flash. The Flash.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
should have known
We're on
that
the
shit.
knee.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
The man of the hour.
Back to
You could just fire off a few of them and then explain them if you want. If you can't choose
No,
one.
I want one. I want one. Shit, you gotta pick
He's
one right
got
now.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Is it
just
like
too much.
Dr. Fate sort of
It's
area?
not Dr. Fate.
Oh.
As much
Dr.
as like
Fate's cool
I've
shit,
just been recently getting into Dr. Fate, and I heard last time I was at the comic book store, I was gonna get some
Dark
Dr.
side.
Fate comics, but they were out, and so I asked him like, hey, do you guys have any Dr. Fate comics? And he's like, no, but they are writing a new thing for him now. So when that comes out, I'm definitely gonna try and check that out.
So how much? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like, how much are we talking? Like standard comic? Like how
Like
much?
a standard.
How much
comic?
money are we talking about dropping on like a standard comic?
So like.
$200.
Depending on if it's like if we're just talking about like a paperback, like a volume of like a character,
Yeah.
or like like so Superior Spider-Man is split up into multiple volumes.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Just
like a
one
volume of that is around like $20,
Okay.
and they're not like they don't take that long to get through.
Yeah.
But it's just like the artwork and like I think how they print it and stuff like that is
Comics are very satisfying.
Yeah,
I used to
well,
have-
no
I used to
one-
have- whenever I was a kid, I used to have Punisher comics. And that was
Yeah.
like my thing.
I don't, and it's like
Punisher
I'm
kids.
pretty
So
sure.
dope.
I'm pretty sure. Like I think I'd like to think that more people are getting into actually reading comics, like I'm trying to do. But at the same time, I don't think people are. Because like the movies, I feel like have either one of two effects. It's like, oh sweet, I love this stuff now that I found out about it in the movies. I'm gonna go check it out at an actual comic book store. Or sweet, the movies and TVs are good.
Yeah.
And then they never like try and.
You know
like,
what? Actually, next time you go to the comic store, I want to come.
It's back home. So, but I mean, if you're in
Hey,
Yeah, but they have a bunch of
like,
Texas. I know.
I've actually never been to one in Oklahoma before, like ever. So
The one
Probably
the
hard
one
to
that I
find
go to
Oklahoma.
back in McKinney is awesome.
Well, do they sell those kind of comics like on the internet? Because you know.
Yeah,
You
don't
don't have
on
to
the
buy
internet.
them though. You literally can just go.
And on the internet, they may be
Read.
cheaper by a couple bucks, like on Amazon or something like that.
yeah,
But
screw that.
But
It would be so
doesn't
much
beat-
cooler.
I know.
It'd
I
be
know.
so much
I
cooler
was
to
just
go
wondering.
into a comic book store.
I was just wondering.
dude, that is a not safe place for me to be financially.
Yeah.
Because you walk in there and they have like all sorts of stuff. And you're like, more
My
money.
dad literally has like a closet full of Marvel DC comics.
So that's awesome.
I
See,
can
like
totally
if we ever go back to Texas together, I would gladly let you
Dude.
let you borrow some of those, but he will want them back. I know that.
Yeah, I bet. But favorite.
Everybody has that one place where it's just like, if your pocketbook's hurting, you better not go in there.
Yeah, that is that place for me.
For some people, it's,
Academy, the gun section.
oh,
gun
dude, the
accessory
gun
section.
store, man. I'm telling you, the gun store will break the bank in about 20
Because
seconds.
the guns cost it's one purchase.
Well, no, like the accessories for a gun.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
modifications and
Scopes
everything.
and
Totally.
whatnot. All right,
Anyway,
it's time to make a decision.
all
It's
time
time to make a
favorite.
decision. Let's hear it.
And I feel like this is about to change, but like, if I really have to think about it over the course of my entire life, who has been my favorite superhero?
We'll sit here in silence until you figure it out.
You can't beat Spider-Man. Spider-Man is
all right.
the man.
I can say I can respect that.
Really?
Spider-Man is my ish.
I can respect it.
Literally just everything. He's easily Marvel's best character. Now, like I said, I feel like that's about to change because the more I'm getting into more Daredevil,
Yeah.
that's, I don't know, but like, ever since I was little, like, that's who I wanted to be. I'm like,
So what is
I mean,
the spider?
Hunter brought in a Spider-Man Kleenex box.
okay, this was like $1. This was like $1.50 at Walmart, and it came with 3 of these. So I was like, this is the cheapest option, and it's Spider-Man. So like, what?
We need to definitely go all watch Thor Ragnarok together.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
yes,
That movie's
Sam.
happening.
Sam, Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man. You are right.
No, I completely agree with
I
that.
agree.
Spider-Man.
I don't care.
Do a flip.
Stop.
But Spider-Man, yeah, he's like, just I can't even begin to say.
He was the
like-
first Marvel movie, right?
No, I mean
Or
like,
like,
a lot of different. He was the one that he's like the first Spider-Man movie is the one that like made that in the entire industry explode. Spider-Man 1 was the first movie to actually get past $100 million at the box office for its opening weekend.
That's
So it's
insane.
just so like just keep that in mind. Like Spider-Man, is it like he's just a guy like
Good.
that whole thing with him where
the
he's like
goat.
just like he's just a kid, he's just a guy like trying to like do everything he can to help like people, but he's also got his own life. It's just like the internal struggle with him is that he's a great person and a great hero who's constantly holding himself down for not being a better one. I feel like that's something that's just so relatable.
Mhm.
And, but
Even if you're not necessarily a
He's-
superhero. Because I definitely hold myself down for not being a better human being.
that's what I'm
sometimes.
like.
I totally agree.
So
Yeah.
good. But he's definitely probably my all-time number one. Honorable mentions.
We have to have him. He's gonna have him.
Batman. Batman's a close second. Batman is such a lot of people are instantly like, oh, he's so relatable because he's a human and he doesn't have any powers. Bullshit. Batman is a billionaire. He's a loner. He basically has no friends. Like, you cannot, like...
He's probably the least relatable in a way.
Honestly,
Like,
not a
like,
single
really?
person in this room can honestly tell me that they wish they were Batman. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's bullshit. Because you have no friends. You're a billionaire. That's pretty fucking cool. But like, you're also one of the smartest men.
But I think
you know what? Yeah,
I
you
think
can
there's just
tell me.
like
You can tell me that.
like-
Screw friends. Well, I'm wrong.
Screw
Whatever.
I
friends.
think the thing about
Hey, he has Robin, bro. He's Robin.
He
a
does.
couple of them.
In
He's got
a
like 4
way.
of them.
And
But,
Alfred, I suppose.
A lot of
Oh,
people
dude,
like,
Alfred's dope.
but yeah,
Box,
that's like
we
that's
can't
a ton
talk
of people's
about that.
go-to.
Nobody
like,
in here has read manga.
He doesn't have any powers
except for me.
Like
Right.
you know, like it's like I don't know how that can be the one thing that makes you like Batman the most. For me, it's just like his whole the whole like around like what
Don't pay attention.
yeah Christian Bale personifies I am Batman. I'll argue with that one.
I think Christian Bale's my favorite Batman.
I agree.
For sure.
Okay, so I'll make an argument, but real quick. But like Batman, the thing I like about Batman the most is like the whole gothic feel around like his entire like being. Like when I think of Batman, I think of him on a gargoyle. It's raining. Gotham has really tall skyscrapers. It's like
Yeah,
you're in like a horror
pretty cool.
movie.
It's a
like,
pretty cool image. Like
Yeah.
like the Dark Knight, and it was so dark. Like the movie was just had such a dark feel.
Yeah.
It's like it was. I mean,
Which
it
I'm
was
glad-
a really good
so-
movie.
The argument I'm about to make is that I think Christian Bale is the best like actor, but I don't think he's the best Batman. But he's in the best movies. The best Batman, I think, is Ben Affleck. Ben
I
Affleck.
have to
when
say-
okay,
Listen,
wait,
hear me
wait,
out
wait,
though.
wait.
Hear me out though. I think Christian Bale was a better Bruce Wayne, but I think
Okay.
Ben Affleck is a
Okay.
better Batman. He's
All
getting
right, yeah. If
he's
you look at it like
bigger.
that,
Christian Bale was kind of skinny, slender arms. You know, he used to move around a little bit, but Batman in the comics is like a big ass, like he's a big dude.
he's a
You know,
fucking brawler.
he looks like a beast, and I think Ben Affleck hits that pretty well. You
Yeah.
got that brute. Feel
I can
to
get
him.
that. I can
Now,
get
as far as
that.
Bruce Wayne goes, Christian Bale.
Adam West, no.
Adam West.
Fucking never.
Okay, Adam West did die like in the last year.
Yeah, so
so,
rest
like,
in peace.
Rest in
Adam
peace.
West was like for a lot of people like their Batman.
Yeah,
So that's
I mean,
pretty-
for
that's
people
pretty
who grew
cool.
up in
That's
this period,
pretty
yeah,
cool, yeah.
totally. But
But yeah, I feel like Christian Bale definitely has like more Bruce Wayne scenes
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I feel like as we get to see Ben Affleck more as the character, I think eventually he'll probably be a better Bruce Wayne, depending on what they do with the material. But yeah, like I totally agree. There are some scenes like the reason those movies are kick ass and he's a good Batman is because Christian Bale, like you care about Bruce Wayne, the
Mhm.
character,
Yeah.
more than you do Batman. like every scene with his mask off is just like you just feel for the guy so much. Like there's that
Yeah.
one scene in The Dark Knight where he's like sitting in the chair because Rachel dies. Spoilers.
Oh.
But if you haven't seen The Dark Knight, like shame on you. But,
yeah.
like where he's just sitting in the chair and he's like, I let that madman blow her to hell. It's just like his scenes where he's just Bruce Wayne are really
Like
good,
the one
and
in The Dark Knight Rises where he's in the tunnel or he's in the cave or wherever that was.
where he's climbing
And
out.
he has to go through the mental phase
Yeah.
of getting out of the.
That's
I don't think anybody
great.
could have done that better than Christian Bale at that
Better
point.
when you see him at the end.
Yeah.
It's like he made it out. You're like,
He's just a new person. He's got himself back.
but yeah, like in the Dark Knight trilogy, one thing the action is like really great and suspenseful. But if you think about it, you never see Batman actually throw a batarang in those movies. There's never one scene where you literally see him physically throw a batarang. And like
does that bother you?
that does bother me. Like what my brother pointed out to me, and I was like, I'm never not gonna be able to unsee that now.
That's so true now.
But like,
I didn't
yeah,
even think
seeing
about
like
it.
watching Batman v Superman, like just seeing Ben Affleck as Batman, like that is something that jumps from the comics to the screen so well.
Mhm.
And he encapsulates a different type of Batman, which I think I like Batman being in because they have to change him. Like they can't just put the same thing on screen like they did
Yeah.
with the Nolan trilogy. But like man, the voice changer.
Mhm.
And he encompasses that rage that Batman has about
Yeah.
his position in life and when he's kicking out he is the one on-screen Batman that I would legitimately be afraid of.
Yeah.
Like if I got caught by Christian Bale's Batman, I'd be like, damn it,
If you got
But
caught by
like, if somebody told me, like, and it was Ben Affleck's Batman, it was like, dude, apparently Batman's gonna come and like ruin our operation, I would run home as fast as I can. Fuck that. Who's the best Joker?
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
It's definitely not
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Not.
I love his music. Don't love his acting. Except he's really good at in Fight Club. Angel Face.
I will come in there and don't say Heath Ledger. On screen. Yeah, I'd say Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
But
Jared Leto-
Mark Hamill has this special place in my heart. I don't know. Not really in my heart, but just like whenever I'm reading the comics, Mark Hamill's voice is what I hear. And if you guys don't know, Mark Hamill has voiced the Joker in pretty much like almost every animated video game, like what have you, the Joker. Like Mark Hamill, like Luke Skywalker. And like when you hear his voice, nothing beats that voice. And like if we're talking about like besides on-screen Batmans, Kevin Conroy, his voice is Batman. I don't know how, but personifies more Batman than anybody who's been on screen as well. I don't know. But then again, like every time I see Ben Affleck in that suit, I'm like, that's fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Big old dude.
All right, so
What
I
else
think
you got?
that may or may not clear the superhero.
Yeah,
discussion.
I think we covered it pretty.
Jack
pretty
Nicholson,
well.
that I can see it. I can see it.
What else do you have for us, Brendan? You have anything else for us?
Yeah, we could do a couple things. We could do pet peeves.
Ooh,
which
that was a good conversation with Jordan.
we've touched on that, but we can do about whatever. And if obviously, like we get your guys' take. We could do the most interesting place you've been, but that might be kind of shorter. And then we can.
We've all been doing it now for like what, 2 hours?
Yeah, we've been here
For
for
an hour and a half.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah. Or we could do IQ linked to socioeconomic level. Which
I want to touch on pet peeves with Hunter
Sure.
and everybody else.
Sure.
I want everybody to touch
Well,
on pet
before
peeves.
we start this,
Mhm.
we are live.
Yeah.
This is not the time to tell me about your roommate or people on the floor.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would advise to
I'm
not
not gonna
do
bring it
this.
up.
So
We could do it about a
Oh, I
pet
thought
peeves
this
about a
was
specific
general
thing.
about society.
Yeah, it's more of a
Yeah.
society
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like when
Yeah.
this person comes and does this, I get mad.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
no,
I
no,
don't.
yeah.
I don't want everybody talking about like
Like
the
last
floor,
Yeah,
like,
no.
No.
Last
Like
time I
inside.
talked about
Which
like people having trucks that have
Yeah.
no business having trucks. Like that was like something. That,
okay,
that's
let's
kind of
talk
what we're
about
going.
that because
That's
that's a
what we're
pet
going
peeve
for.
I have.
That's something we can talk. Like that's like the idea of it.
Let's
so.
get somebody's pet peeve that hasn't already.
Yeah. So like
So,
Hunter, if you
pet
wanna,
peeves.
So let's-
you're
we'll
the
go
you're
around
the
the same way.
guest.
So,
So if
Jalen,
you'd like to go.
You give us a pet peeve.
Shoot.
If you don't have
may
one,
have to come back to me.
okay.
I got
I'm
one.
thinking about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, Hunter, absolutely.
So we were talking about music earlier.
Mm-hmm.
People who don't listen to music actively, like
Like, how do you not do
not
that?
Yeah.
not even.
Go
like,
ahead. Go ahead.
It's a pet peeve, but
Hi,
like
Sam. I love you.
it's just like when people are like, oh, I'll listen. I listen to like anything, and then like you ask them, it's like, well, what groups do you like, and like stuff like that, and then like they like
They're like,
they can't answer
I
the
don't
question,
really,
and
I don't
you're
really
like,
listen to music a whole lot.
Yeah.
Which is not something you hear from a lot of
A lot
people.
of
yeah, you don't hear that very
You don't
often.
hear that a
you
whole
usually
lot.
hear from like the same type of person. You're
Yeah.
like, dude,
Especially not nowadays. You just got all music flowing everywhere. Rap.
You don't,
Yeah.
like, especially in a place like
Everything.
this, you don't have a choice.
You
but-
hear music walking around the
Yeah,
street.
You walk down this hallway and you hear like 8 different kinds of music. where it's
I
like-
don't know how people walk to class without listening to music.
Yeah.
They can't. You can't even go to the intramural fields without like
Hearing
you can't,
somebody
you
bump
can't,
something
You're
or
gonna
something.
hear
Have
something.
earbuds in.
You
People
go to
who
the,
chew
you go
with
to
their
the
mouth
Colton.
open.
You go to the Colton.
Yeah,
you don't
That's
have a
that's
choice.
That's a common one.
yeah,
Like,
that is a comment.
I don't know anyone that enjoys listening to someone chew with their mouth open. Like, that is just, it's just so.
Guilty
Awful.
as charged. Because when I'm enjoying my Zaxby's, I'm enjoying my fucking Zaxby's, and I'll
Yeah.
just
We
who's
just
watching.
get like a nice like
Yeah.
pet peeves.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
Sam.
Sam, don't be a grammar Nazi.
We don't need that in the comments. Comments.
Well, one of my biggest pet peeves is when this could be anybody. Like, if you're walking down the street and you try to talk to someone and they just kind of blow you off without even giving you the chance to like really get to know the person or get a first impression. Like if they're just acting an asshole for no apparent reason to anybody.
Can you
That
lay out a scenario? I'm sorry, I don't know.
I'll
know
lay
what
out
you
a
mean.
scenario
I
right
know
now
what you
because
mean.
it happened to me actually today,
Okay.
and I thought of you because I knew that was your pet peeve.
Yeah.
And okay, so I walked in to the classroom, North Classroom building. I opened the door, and there was like you know how you kind of get that situation sometimes where like you're walking in the door, but then at the same time there's somebody walking out.
Dude, that is the worst.
And I was like, okay, so I'll hold the door for this guy. I was like, I propped the door up. And I was like, how's it going, man? He was like, he just like nodded his head at me, and I was like, oh, nice to know you're having a good day, asshole.
Didn't
See
know
you
we were
later.
being a dick to you.
I wish I'd never fucking held the door open for that guy. If you're listening right now,
On the other end of that,
But yeah, you don't really know what's going on with someone.
on the other end of that,
Yeah.
I have been that guy, and so it was like a businessman held the door open for me, and I don't remember where. I think I was walking into Chipotle or something, and I had a shitty day, like really bad day.
That's right, yeah.
And I walked in, and the guy opens the door, and he's like, "You're welcome," and I'm like, "So you opened that door specifically so I would tell you you're welcome? Like that's not why you open a door for someone.
Yeah.
You open a door for someone because it's a nice thing to do, not because you're gonna get a you're welcome."
That's what I was about to say. Like,
And-
you really don't ever know.
and so,
well,
like,
you can kind of
yeah,
tell,
like, so-
like how they
For
carry
sure,
themselves and their mannerisms.
Like that
like,
should definitely, I should definitely have said like thank you. Obviously, like that's manners. That's
Yeah.
what a normal person, a good person does, and I didn't do that. Like yeah, I'm okay. Call me out for that, but like you shouldn't be opening a door expecting like for the thank you.
Okay,
You
so
know what
like
I mean?
in this scenario, say you're at a get together at a party,
Mhm.
and there's a dude that is standing where you're walking in the general direction. He like turns around and kind of looks at you. You're like, "What's up, bro?" You're trying to spark a conversation. He just like nods his head and turns around. Like he's not giving you the
Yeah.
Time of day.
The time of day
In-
for like
in
a first
quotations.
first
I'm talking with my
impression.
hands in quotations. Time of day.
That's your standard Stillwater douchebag.
Yeah, like if people are just gonna be a douchebag for no apparent reason just because you're like an opposing male,
Yeah, I don't
that
understand.
pisses me off.
That's what it
The
is.
thing about,
it's male dominance. Whenever we're talking about guys, it's male dominance.
Okay, then male
sometimes.
dominance.
The thing that
me off.
pisses me off is that, like, so you approach someone and then you try and, like, let's say, get off the male topic.
Okay.
This we all know this is more of a problem with females.
We all know where this is going.
Okay, well, let's be really careful.
Yeah, be careful with your words here, Jalen. You're not the most articulate person.
I
But
Oh,
okay,
okay.
before we go off to that, like I was like, sometimes you just don't know how somebody's day is going,
Mm-hmm.
and like, man, sometimes and like I know it's happened to me before, where you do something polite like that, and then like maybe later they come back and you're like, dude, I'm sorry, like,
Then that makes up for it.
yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, that's
Yeah.
fine. But
Like,
this
yeah,
guy,
so-
like I was saying, you can tell. You can sometimes tell by the way they carry themselves or mannerisms and stuff. And this was that typical dude that like has his chin up, like walking around like
Yeah.
somebody please fuck with me. I'm God's gift to the earth.
I have a perfect example. Okay, me and Brennan and Jalen were walking out of the gym, right? And we're like laughing, talking about something, and you see these two people come across the crosswalk, and
I was
they're-
there.
Yeah,
I remember
okay,
that.
and they're like laughing within a conversation of each other, and they turn and see that us group of guys are walking towards them too, and their faces,
laughter instantly
yeah,
stopped.
their laughter instantly stops, and they have a shit look on their face, and they raise their shoulders and they start walking with their fucking.
And they walk back.
what?
And then
Yeah,
they,
I
and then
swear to
they-
like,
God.
all right, dude, like we get it.
And then they
We're both guys. Like,
They-
you don't have to.
they attempted to take up as much of the sidewalk as
Yeah,
humanly
they tried to
possible.
push us on the side.
So they, like,
they were
They
douchebags.
took, like walked abreast and everything, and it was just like
That pisses me off.
I'm not even like what motive? Like why do that? Like
See,
what's the point in doing
The
that?
thing I was gonna say
There
earlier,
isn't.
with anybody,
we could have
if you're gonna blow somebody off, like
fuck those guys up.
just for approaching you and trying to be friendly, I have a question. Like, how do you even meet new people? Like, how do you have friends if the people try and be friends with you, and then you basically give them the middle finger?
Maybe in their mind they're like, I already got all the friends I need.
Well, what if?
But
what
then
if-
again, why
what
would
if they
you
make
act
that
How
like
like?
did
go
they
out
meet
of your
their
way
original
to, like-
friends?
What
if
about
they-
that 3 to
they
5
had to
second
have met
judgment
somehow?
from just
Well, at
how
one
you
point
look?
they were like prepubescent nerdy fucks, and they met their friends, and then they
Dude,
grew
what
up
about
to be the
that?
assholes.
What about like
that they
a
are
3
now.
to 5 second just judgment on how you
Yeah,
look,
that was
and
one of those
they decide to be.
nerdy.
For example,
we were all those at one point.
For example, you decide to be Jalen the judgmental bastard. I'm not saying that this is actually a thing, but you decide to be Jalen the judgmental bastard, and you decide, and this is not something you would do, but let's say you decide based on this person's looks that you don't want to talk to him. I think that's to blame sometimes. I really do. I think people pass judgment on looks before they engage in conversations.
Well, no, for sure. That's like
That's part
the
of
way a
That's-
person
that's
looks
kinda
is
how you have
people-
to go
no,
about your days.
people don't like to talk about it, but in any relationship, whether it's like romantic or not, or
Agreed.
the way you look matters. Like it's there. I was talking to Jalen about this. How well this is romantic. I suppose this is in a romantic setting, but like the way someone looks, it matters.
Yeah.
Like biologically, it matters.
Right.
Like there was other than the study I talked to him about, which is like why men are attracted to like the color red, but I won't get into that. There was a study done by I don't remember who did it, but a bunch of men of like all sorts of races and whatever. They like you get your ones and you get your tens, right? You get your whole spectrum of men, and they all wore a white T-shirt that was not scented, so it was like washed in baking soda.
Yeah.
Baking soda, and so they're not scented, and the men would take off the shirt at the end of the day, and then there was women who would smell the shirt, and the men who are technically more attractive would their shirt would smell better. So we'll do an example. Let's say I wear a shirt and white Jalen wears a shirt, and then we have a girl smell this shirt at the end of the day of like the body odor. She's gonna think the odor of Jalen's is better than mine. So
Even without seeing you?
even without seeing us,
That's
it's the way the
crazy.
symmetry.
That's crazy.
It's the
What do you
way
mean?
the symmetry of your face works. So like, I'll use myself as an example. I'm obviously not a 10 out of 10. So
Dude, Brandon, you
I know,
I would
I know.
smash. I mean, like.
Whoa!
well,
Stop
whatever.
the podcast.
No, let's
Yeah,
just
stop the bucket.
we'll just whatever. We'll use myself
Actually, I
as
can't
an
do that 'cause I
example.
can't date residents, and I have a girlfriend. So.
Whatever. We'll use myself as an
But yeah,
example.
were you
And so if you look at my face, it's not very symmetrical, which is like a factor of being attractive. And so if you look at someone else's face who is attractive, their face is going to be far more symmetrical than someone who isn't like considered attractive. So it's getting back to the point. It's very important that someone like the way you look isn't necessarily important, but it is something that matters. And so, like, as we're saying, like, when you judge someone by the way they look, like, yeah, it's a shitty thing to do because you probably should get to know that person because, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I can be interesting, even though we'll use someone else.
I don't know how that's like.
yeah.
I don't know how like the way you said it, like it seemed like you were gonna be like, yeah, I'm hot. Like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but you just said I can be interested.
Well, yeah, no,
Well, it's
the
true
point is
because
that, like-
I know that about myself, but like Brandon knows, I'm actually kind of cool. Like I'm kind of funny sometimes, but I have like you know how girls have resting
Thanks,
bitch.
guys.
You know how girls have resting bitch face.
Dude, I did too.
I have resting asshole face. You see me walking down the street, it looks like I'm pissed off 100% of the time.
with those shoulders, bro.
It looks
you
like
can
I'm.
look good and smell like ass.
Well, no,
that's
that's-
a compelling argument.
No, but
Yeah.
you would.
But no, I
in
look
the,
like an asshole.
in the study,
if
though,
you get to know me,
It was
it's
just
not-
based on
in the
like.
study, you don't wear any.
I'm confused on that study.
You don't wear any.
Wait, so
Okay,
Like-
but what if it's like this? Okay,
Why-
so you and me stand next to each other,
Mhm.
and we pick 50 random girls that come walking by. We pick
Mhm.
them, and then we say, choose the most attractive male.
Yeah.
And we introduce that girl to us.
This
Okay.
fucking strikes
So
me.
you're saying, in a visual sense, not the smelling sense, that all 50 girls would pick me.
Well, surely
Because
not all 50.
I don't believe that. I feel like people would
Surely
pick
not
you
all
too.
50 because people do have their preferences. Like
Right.
obviously, like for example, like obviously some men like a girl with longer hair and some men like a girl with
Exactly.
shorter hair. and that's obviously like you can have certain types of preferences, but
So do you have a preference of smell then? In that case, would it
well,
go
I suppose so. But in overall, the more attractive men smell better.
Okay.
I don't get that.
Yeah, but you
It's
really.
it's
But this
very
is
bizarre,
like-
but it's so deeply
This is-
deeply like
this is like
ingrained in our
one-
biological.
Well, I mean, like this is
That's
one
so fucking
small part,
Mhm,
and like
right.
getting like this is literally just
I
one
know, that's like-
sense
that's
of
like-
Right.
the
But-
entire experience of somebody like falling in love with you. And
the
like,
point I
You
was
can
getting
also
at, though.
look really attractive and smell really good and be a douchebag.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
most of the
Correct.
time, that's
That's
And
most of
that's-
the time.
yeah, that's most
Well,
of
no,
the time
but-
the case.
The point I was
Fucking
getting to is that
goddamn.
you can't.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later if you want.
The point I was getting to is that you can't ignore the mystical
Like,
sense of
there's some
attraction.
sort of like biological.
Yeah,
like-
it's very deep.
Actually-
attraction is very deeply ingrained in our
In
our
psychology.
ancestors.
Okay, but yeah, actually,
Probably
what
not.
you're saying,
Dennis. Probably
you were
not.
saying about the biological thing in psychology class. We had a little segment where we were talking about how girls choose their mates and whatnot, and it goes back to like an evolution kind of thing, because girls back then would choose mates based on like how much better, like they would choose healthy people because their babies would come out better.
Well, that's
And
like
apparently, like it became like an evolution like type of thing to choose, and I think it kind of decided how we consider
Well,
attractiveness
healthiness
today.
and physical task.
Well, that's what I feel like I said, I feel like the whole like physical element plays like a part of it. Like if you're not like, let's say you love someone's like personality, like they are your soulmate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Essentially, or like
But as our frontal cortex has developed, we've then gained that sense. But back when
yeah. But like, let's say, well, maybe not soulmate, because I feel like, but let me just okay.
We
So
understand.
let's yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Mhm.
I
But
don't know. But maybe it still does play like a huge, like if somebody really does connect with you on that level and like you have that connection, but you were like not attracted to them physically like at all.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way you can like
It can happen, I'm sure,
yeah.
I think it's
It's
still
gotta
a
be
thing. I think that's
one
still a thing today, like the physical
hell of
tasks
a
thing that you
person.
brought up.
Yeah.
Because like Hunter's probably got a better chance with most girls than I do. But if Hunter's over there talking to a girl and I come back with these 2 wild boars that I just killed with my bare hands,
exactly.
that girl's probably gonna look my way a little bit because I just killed 2 boars with my bare hands.
right?
I mean, I think it still works.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I feel like it plays like a part of it, but I feel like I don't know. Maybe y'all don't feel the same, but like, have you guys ever heard "Thank God for Girls" by
If it's a rock song, then no, I've not.
Weezer?
No,
It's
Weezer.
definitely right. Well, I
It's,
don't
it's
know.
like
no,
they're more
Weezer's
a
like
surf
it's
rock.
like pop rock.
But like it's
Weezer
just
kind
like
of
it's just
blues.
like the thing that's like them. Like I don't know. Like my girlfriend, which if anybody's ever like listening right now, this may get kind of gooey. But like it's just like there's something inherently that's about her that like I like really love. Like
Mhm.
and it's like that is like what seals like that kind of like
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, like-
fucking beautiful, actually.
it's like
I'm gonna
it's
cry.
like nothing that's gonna like be like I think like biologically there or like maybe like physically there, you know, is really gonna make you fall in love with somebody. But I think it's gonna be something that like just hits you like when she like giggles or like if she like laughs a certain way,
Yeah.
and then you just sit there and you're like, ah shit, now I got feelings like. Cause I know that's what happened with me. I was like, alright, I'm done. Like, like there
Well,
it
what
goes.
could have initiated
took
that
a
for
rip
you
from
to even
Adam.
begin to develop those thoughts? Where, like, say you walk up with 2 fucking boars that you killed with your bare hands, and you're just like, oh shit, I want to pursue that male, and then that shit starts. Like that could be
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll give you maybe like on the initial like beginning,
right.
like but
Yeah.
I feel like
No,
over
not at this
time.
point. I'm not saying I could steal
Like-
your girl by
No,
hunting
I'm not
boars.
saying I'm not saying I'm not saying you're gonna steal my girl or anything, but I'm saying like the initial like start of that relationship, like you said earlier, like if you see, like let's say somebody sees some dude jacked 2 boars that whole thing,
Yeah.
and it turns out he's a dick and he thinks the world is flat.
Exactly.
Is flat. Like, I mean,
No,
that's
that's
not gonna
actually
happen.
awesome.
Like, I'll give you the point. Like maybe it'll start you from like going into but then you have to like get the whole like
That should
social
ban you.
element of like you having the bravery to like go up and talk to them and stuff like that. But I mean,
Thinking
like
the world is
still.
flat should ban you from getting any ass ever. I don't think you should be allowed.
B.O.B. is
You
already
should
beat
not be
that.
allowed to procreate if you think the Earth is flat. You need to be put in jail and not allowed to procreate if you think. You're
But like I
Oh,
said,
God.
since our frontal cortex is developed back in the day, well, I say back in the day when humans were still animalistic.
back
it
in the
was-
baby days.
Sex, reproduction. It wasn't, get to know me.
Just know me.
You know
Take
what
me
I'm
out to dinner first.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
If we're talking like the whole like grand
No.
scheme.
Take me saber-toothed tiger
When
hunting
do
before we
you
do that.
when do you think that happened though?
Get
Like,
to know
around-
me.
There was never one moment that I think in human history that we could click that like we went from like which is like, hey, you wanna go out sometime?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I don't think that happened in one
Maybe I
moment
should
in
take her to
time. I
dinner
feel like
Oh
that's
yeah,
close.
yeah. Let me think.
The Earth is not flat.
God fucking damn it, bots.
Get out. Get the fuck out of here.
No.
I'm just
You can
playing.
stay behind.
You can definitely stay.
But if you think the Earth is
But
flat,
if you think
then
the Earth is flat, we have a problem. I'm
you
just
might
saying.
want
I
to go
don't
to a
use a
psychologist.
conservative out of toilet paper when I poop. David Dennis.
Does that?
It's okay if you do.
I don't.
I don't.
Rather, Hunter,
Dennis- Dennis-
Hunter. Rather be safe than sorry.
Okay.
He
Don't
doesn't
wanna
want
have
to.
that
You don't want
itch.
to have that finger
You don't,
slippage.
you don't have that itch at the end of the day. You gotta go re-wipe.
Oh God. This took a bad turn.
Yeah, this. What have we devolved into, boys? Jesus.
Oh man, that took
quite
a
the
turn.
dive.
But yeah, that
Quite
was
the
that was
dive.
pet peeves.
That was pet peeves.
That was pet peeves.
Yes.
That was pet
Holy
peeves.
shit.
That evolved
Alright,
into
you
that
guys
shit.
trying to hit one more topic? Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we can
definitely
do another
that.
one,
But it
sure.
better not be gay, Brendan.
Oh wow, it is almost 12. So
Okay, we can end it there then. That's
Hunter, do you
no,
know?
I mean we can do like one more, but it'll just be kind of short.
just a quick one, yeah.
Hunter
Yeah.
has
Okay,
duties.
well then,
Hunter has duties.
this is more of a. I guess this is
It's
more,
more
of
of
a.
like I got like I don't know,
Sleep.
like 6 hours of sleep,
This is like
and I just want to like
this is like a fact that I guess everyone
Smack in the
can.
bed.
This is like a fact that everyone can munch on. I guess. I'll pull it up for you guys too.
the moon lady was fake.
Yeah, I'd be glad to munch on it, Brendan.
yeah.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so there's.
Is this what we were talking about, North Dining?
Yeah. So there's a.
This is actually alright.
No, this is crazy. So there's a specific group of Jews, and like I know people like to make fun of Jews, and so I'm not making fun of Jews.
Josh,
this is
where
like
you
this is
at?
like 100% serious.
Josh Luck.
Like
where
I
you
can't
at?
be more serious about this. There's
Josh
a
is
percentage of
He's not
Jews
Jew.
called you can't I don't even know how to fucking say this. Ashkenazi. It has nothing to do with the Nazi party.
I'm pretty sure it's
No.
Nazi.
No, I don't know how to say it.
Ashkenazi.
Like I said, I've only read it. I've only read it. I don't know how to
Easy
say it.
Alright,
But
it doesn't matter. Go.
Box house for you.
this specific group of Jews of Jewish people have on average 15 more IQ points than like regular Jewish people who are generally smart, like normal people. So
And I'm sure you know how much of a difference 15 points
yeah,
makes
15
on IQ.
points. So 15 points can mean so like
No, okay,
100
so you read the units to me while we were
Yeah.
eating, but like 15 points is a pretty huge jump.
Mark.
in-
like
in IQ.
100 points is like a normal human being who's like educated, who's like smart.
Right.
Add 15 points to that, and you're bordering genius.
Yeah, it's that
So,
big. Of a, if
It's like that big of a
margin.
jump. It's that big of a jump, and I just found it
It's like 100
absolutely
is like normal,
baffling.
110 is gifted, and then whenever you get to 120, you start getting into
Yeah, now you're a
different types
genius.
of
This was in
geniuses.
2013.
This or
Holy shit.
That's
this-
pretty recent.
like
That's not.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
not.
like, that's how I
like-
was just double checking.
which I mean, it's just like so hard to like think that that's like a thing,
Yeah.
like that people can be that more like that much more
Do we
educated.
have any idea
Did,
why?
did
it is?
they? Did they?
No, it's
Like the background.
It's
of
just
those
one of
people,
those
like,
anomalies.
how is it like their education, their religion?
I'm not. I haven't read into it too much. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, but
Still,
it caught my eye when I was looking at this kind of stuff, and it was just like
what's the population?
so. Like essentially, well, I mean, I guess the best way to put this is our bell curve is like a normal bell curve, and their bell curve is like 15 points ahead of our bell curve. So the average person's 15 points, and then the genius is 15 points ahead of our genius.
Jeez.
So like
There should be some pretty freaking like smart people coming out of that.
So,
like,
yeah, no.
Because if let's just say like every once in a while in our civilization a genius is born.
Every amount of time.
Yeah, I don't know what. Does anybody really know? But like, so a genius that's born in their society would be 15 points smarter than a genius born in ours. Is that how I'm understanding?
Yeah, so like we'll say per cap. I mean, I don't even know how to say this, but basically we have a baby that's born who, when they're 25, will have an IQ of 120. Well, they'll have the same baby born
On the same day, it's going to be the same age at the same time,
but it'll be
15 points
135.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I guess we'll end it there on that incredible thought, which I mean, like how do you
Facts.
like? It's in I'm not, like I didn't think a conversation would like spew from that.
But you just want to mention.
I just like wanted to
Cool.
mention it because like that's fucking nuts.
You learn something.
Like that somebody
You learn something new every day, man.
You really do.
That might be something you can do in the podcast, like find a article or something like
Speaking
that.
of that, why don't we go ahead and cover who we have on Thursday?
Oh yeah, we'll finish everything up real quick here. I
wanna
almost
know.
forgot about that. Firstly, we're just gonna go through the comment. I want to go through the comment section really quick.
Just to double check.
Just to, like get everything. First, one thing. So the graphic on screen right now, which is I want to show it to the guys that are actually. It's the ETC and it's like our social media, fucking overlay, I guess.
Gotcha.
It was made by Jake Jensen, who's a guy on our floor. His Instagram is at statefarm_agent713. So give him a follow. Like I know they're laughing, but like seriously, give him a follow. He's very talented.
Yeah, he really is.
He's like we'll give him pictures and he'll just like turn him into something you don't even recognize. But it's like really fun.
He'll
Yeah,
take
he
pictures.
loves making
He
memes.
takes pictures of me and makes like dank memes out of them.
So he did that. We mentioned this earlier. Mick White. He's another guy on our floor. He's extremely talented.
Mick is the man. Go check out that man's YouTube
please
channel.
go check out.
I got the
his
channel
vlogs.
linked in the description
They are
of
amazing.
this podcast. You can go click it right now. I'm pretty sure. So go do that. Like seriously, his last video, like we all watched it together, and everyone's like,
It literally
completely
looks like,
shocked.
for those of
As
you,
soon as you're done here,
if
go to
anybody's listening to this that has seen Last Chance U, imagine Last Chance U with flag football. And
like
that's
he does
exactly
it. He
what
does
Mick has
it
going
really
on right now.
well.
And then if you look at his old stuff, he's got tons of content from when he was in high school that's actually
it's
really good.
All like I every video I've seen, it's like I can't believe like one person did that. Like
Yeah.
he does a very
He
good
does it by
job.
himself too. It's crazy.
Yeah, go check out his links in the description.
And then
You're done
make sure
here.
to follow our Twitter. If you want to follow my Twitter, go ahead. It doesn't matter to me. You can follow West's Twitter too.
That's how you keep up to date with who we've got on the show, what time we're starting, and all that kind of stuff.
And-
if you're an actual fan, which to you real ones out there, I appreciate you.
And next week,
Tell your friends, dude. Tell your friends, because this is
Yeah.
this is really cool.
and then
I
next,
can't believe this just like kind of happened. It's like.
and then
awesome.
next, so the next podcast will be on Thursday, the 21st of this month, obviously, and then that'll be Mick White, the guy who's actually has that YouTube channel.
He's on
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, he'll be on Thursday, which
So
is
he'll definitely
that's
get
just,
to speak more about his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
About, his content.
that's literally just that was a complete coincidence, but
Yeah.
glad that worked out that way. And then our intro song was "Rockstar" by Post Malone,
Yeah.
and then
It's a banger.
our,
It's a freaking banger.
it's a very good song.
Guess who picked it?
Go yeah,
Take
Wes.
a wild guess.
Wes picked that
Take
one.
a wild West.
And then our outro song is going to be Ambition and Destruction as well, and then followed by Do You Really Want It by
Yeah, nothing more.
by Nothing More as
Gonna
requested.
end on some nothing more. Let's do it.
As requested by Mr. Hunter Mason. So
Yeah.
we'll hope to see you guys in the next one. So
Dude,
thank you
I'm
all
down to
so
do
much.
It again, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter, obviously,
Definitely.
thank you
can
for
all-
coming on.
anytime
You wanna
wanna
shout
come
anything
back,
out
you
really
just
quick?
Let us know.
Shout out anything out.
Yeah, you can shout out whatever you want. Just
Hi,
go for
Mom.
it.
Go third floor.
Yeah.
Like,
We're honestly
third
the
floor. Go,
dankest.
go West Commons. West is the best. I don't really know.
Well, that's
Alright.
good enough.
How about Oklahoma State?
Because I've already kind of mentioned some other people too. But have a good night.
Yeah.
You can give your girlfriend another shout out if you really want.
Hi,
Yeah.
Bailey.
All right.
All right.
Thanks everybody for
Thank you all
coming.
for watching.
Catch y'all
It's
later.
gonna take a
Hang
second
out
here
with us.
for get music going, but thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully you enjoyed.
Talk
maybe-
it up too. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool that we're starting this like kind of like just on our floor and stuff like. It'd be really cool if it like got or took some ground and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
across campuses, like an OSU thing.
I'm definitely trying to. I'm trying to reach a wider viewer base, or wider listener base.
So tell your friends.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Everyone have a good night. Stay safe. See you later.
So I can shake these American demons. No one ever wants to change themselves.
Our race